Disclaimer. All views expressed on What Makes Us Fire are solely those of the person or persons giving them. What Makes Us Fire does not represent or claim to represent any particular city or fire department, and therefore make the claim that all views and standpoints are affiliated with What Makes Us Fire and with What Makes Us Fire only. Any mention of certain fire departments or cities within the interviews are solely for informational and opinion-based dialogue. In short, if you have a problem with what's published, just say something about it and don't be a Richard.
What's up, What Makes Us Fire family? It's Josh, your host of the What Makes Us Fire podcast, founder of the What Makes Us Fire Foundation. Welcome to the show today. Man, I tell you what, we have been busy, very, very busy. I appreciate you all coming on the show and checking out Popz episode today. First name, Pedro. Yeah, Pedro. But he goes by Popz on all his social media platforms. Popz is, he's a military guy. He's a good looking guy. I'll give him that. He has the dimples, damn it. Popz is an amazing man. He's found a way to make a change in people's lives. He's sharing and being an advocate for mental health for the veterans and military personnel, which is something that falls in line exactly with what makes us fire. So we share his story. He opens up to us. He tells us why he started doing the things he's doing. And it's amazing, really. You guys check it out. Without further ado, Popz, Pedro, not Popz, as you will hear me refer to him for about the first 30 minutes. Yeah. What Makes Us Fire family, help me welcome Pedro, better known as Popz, to the What Makes Us Fire podcast. Let's get this march going.
So I have like general sleep issues just in general as it is. And so, but you know, obviously what first responder or service member doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And so like obviously my work week starts today, and today being a holiday, my brain doesn't really process holidays because you get so accustomed to just working through the week. Whether you're home or whether you're overseas, it's just like work throughout the week. The days, I just know the date more or less.
Yeah, no, holidays
yeah.
aren't holidays. They're just days. There's nothing special about them anymore.
Yeah. And so I'm sitting, like, I'm laying in bed and I hear my alarm going off and everything. And I'm looking at the time. I'm like, oh, crap, I need to get up. And it's like 6:30, 6:45. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's Monday. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. So my brain is still stuck on Sunday. It's like, it's the weekend. What am I doing? Why is my alarm going off? So I keep turning it off. And then but yeah, between that and then turning off the alarm, and then Elle comes in, she wakes me up. She tells me, hey, you got that podcast here in like 30 minutes. I was like, what time is it? She goes, yeah, we kind of had to push it back to 11. I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, God damn. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, all right. So I'm literally scrambling. Like I did that quick change, got the coffee because, priorities, coffee, got food. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was here and everything too. So, but dude, had to give you an opportunity, set yourself, No,
I appreciate you oversleeping. I really do. Because I did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can see it. My damn eyes are still freaking, they're bad. I should probably.
You're a handsome devil. What are you talking about?
No, dude. I look, I will fully admit that I am not the worst looking. We're still waking up. I'll fully admit I'm not the worst looking dude out there, but right. I am 100% gonna admit I am not the best looking dude out there either. So it's hard for me to take compliments because there's something told to me when I was younger, and it rings true. No matter what you do in this life, no matter what you do, there is always going to be somebody that does it even better.
Amen.
Right? There's always going to be, to be the best at it, you constantly got to be striving. If
Right.
you ever think you're the best at it, you're not.
Yeah.
Because
there's
there's
always
somebody
someone,
else trying to be better than you.
Mhm.
So
someone else
and
that
that
has a
goes
little
to
bit more
everything.
refined.
Yeah.
Mhm. No,
Son
it's
of a-
it's the same way and everything too. Like I look at it on the same aspect because I always try to keep myself humble when it comes to just things in general, more or less. Because it's like the way I see it is you get to a point where, like you said, if you start thinking that you're the greatest at everything, obviously there's gonna be someone that's better than you,
right.
which is true,
Yeah.
which is always true. But the humbling portion is it when it keeps you in the right mentality. I humble myself so that way I don't get too big of a head, because everyone knows, yeah, I can be cocky if I want to, I can be big-headed if I want to, but what does that do for me? So if you humble yourself, it gives you an opportunity to want to strive for more as opposed to settling for where you're at.
100% agree. Excuse me. Don't drink carbonated beverages while you're trying to talk to people. 1 second. I need to go close the door. So my studio is in the house, and it's in the theater room. I wish you could see. I literally have maybe a 7-foot by 15-foot little section of the theater room.
Yeah.
It's so janky looking, man. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I right now I'm sitting on this black futon couch, right?
I was gonna say it's like the black couch. The black couch.
The fact that you said that means you and I both enjoy the same type of adult entertainment. Anyway.
It's fucking funny because it's just the back couch. It's like, okay, so you ready for this interview?
Yep.
But I be the one.
All right, Pedro. Welcome to the What Makes Us Fire backroom casting couch. Got a seat for you right here, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, brother. But wait, why are you on the casting couch and I'm in the swivel chair?
I don't know. Oh, wait, they have a swivel chair too, don't they?
I think so too.
Yeah, they do. Oh my God. We need to okay. Oh my God. Okay, anyway, but yeah. And my computer is on a really cheap coffee table.
Oh, okay. Oh
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, man. Like
hey, but it holds it together, right? It holds it together.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh,
A lot of duct tape and whatever else is left on this couch that's sticky.
What is it? The easiest put together that I always found was like just 2 of those egg crates, like the big old plastic egg crate things.
Yep.
Just take 2 of them, just stack, and boom, good to go.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That was funny. Anyway, I've been recording that whole thing, so just a heads up. I might use part of that as the opening.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good.
What makes us fire family? Welcome to the show, Mr. Pedro, better known as Popz on his social media. Brother, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
No, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Holy crap. How have you been?
Other
than the whole, sleeping and oversleeping thing, how's this past weekend went?
So far this weekend went pretty well. Obviously, like, the whole instance of everything that's happening outside, me and my lady have been trying to keep it pretty low key. Took some adventuring a bit. We went out, checked out the shore area here in Jersey. If you want to talk about like the preview, like the live preview of like the movies, the zombie movies or the apocalyptic movies, you go down the pier and it looks like, how I told her what it looked like to me is it looked like an old installation, like an old military installation that nobody uses anymore.
Those things are creepy, by the way.
Yeah, the boardwalk, when you're walking down the boardwalk, it's just a small amount of people, like a very small amount of people, and everything is closed. Like a couple shops are open and things like that, but That's it. It reminds me of an old military installation. Even driving around the town in the Jersey Shore area, even driving around the town, it looks like everyone packed up all their crap and took off.
The time we live in right now, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no,
Like,
I hear you, man. It's a fucking trip.
I don't get real political with everything like that, but what I'm going to say is very simple: is I hate living in fear. Period. End of story. I hate living in fear, and I understand there is a real concern out there. Like, not downplaying the concern. However, I am not going to let the concern dictate how I want to live. And so within the law, within the new protocols, obviously I'm not going to go out there and break the law or do anything stupid. But at the same time, I'm not going to limit myself on what I can do either, out of fear, out of maybes or possibilities. I don't like that.
Yeah, and that you're right, man, because it's like people with living in the constant state of fear. One, you're doing ill justice to your personal immune system. Like, you literally kill your immune system even more by thinking scared. Because your body will ultimately react to the way your mind processes. So
when you're constantly in the fight or flight mode in your head, when you're constantly in the survival mode in your head, the fight or flight, you can actually do damage to how your mind reacts to normal things. So
yeah, you're right. And it just sucks when it's sad that folks will allow themselves to get to that point. It's understandable because it's perfectly fine. There is something going on. There's a pandemic or a virus that's going around that is making a lot of people sick. And I know a lot of folks that have different illnesses or that are sick or whatever, that are really, really, really worried for themselves about, like, I'm sick, so if this gets to me, I can possibly die. And I kind of have to throw in a reminder for them, like, hey, just look at you. You can't exactly see it in that light, because you got actually healthier people getting sick and dying from this damn thing, as opposed to folks that are sick. You got people that have cancer that'll get COVID and recover,
and then live, and then recover,
be perfectly fine. But then you have someone who can be a marathon runner or something like that, catch it, hit the worst part, and unfortunately pass away. Not obviously not saying that don't go out with caution and concern, because there's a difference. Like you said, there's a difference from living in fear than living with caution and concern.
Right. Because no. That's I understand it completely. But like I said again, for me, I'm a big numbers guy, right? And so, quote unquote, I play the odds. We know that we're going to get off this as soon as we'll get off the subject real quick. But I know that UV light kills the virus within seconds, right? So being outside in the sunlight is actually beneficial. Okay. Second is, I think the number was like 97% of people that do catch the virus end up coming out of it just fine.
Yeah.
Right. The 3% is still a large percent when you can compare it to the people that are getting infected, obviously. But with those numbers in my head, personally, I'm just going to live my life to the fullest in the time we're in now. I can't do it. I can't live in fear, man. I lived my whole life in fear from a past experience. I'm not going to allow something else to dictate that for me. I'm not going to do it anymore. Not going to do
it. Especially being home. You know what I mean? It's like it'll take the joy out of everything that you really enjoy. Like, people say 2020 was obviously was a horrible year because of things that have happened. If I looked at 2020 as that whole instance, I wouldn't see getting this new AGR assignment for the military as a benefit, because this is something I've been waiting for years. I wouldn't see moving out to Jersey, exploring something new as a good thing. I wouldn't even see like meeting my lady as a good thing, because if I saw 2020 as a crap year, I would take away all the good stuff that literally happened throughout the year.
Well, and that's what we do with depression. We generalize the feeling, and then we forget about all the other good stuff, right? We generalize the crap feeling we feel, and then anything else that comes in our life that's good is tainted by that crap feeling, instead of allowing the good thing that came into our life to just be that good thing.
We forget to hunt the good stuff.
I fucking love that saying, hunt the good stuff. I like that. I like that. Anyway, brother, shit, I love the fact that we kind of go off on these things because, no. So I usually have a more of like not necessarily a strict, what do you call it, guideline on how the show goes. I love rabbit holes, as long as we're not talking in circles. I love rabbit holes because it allows our audience, our family, to really learn about you and your thought process and how you think. But I try to keep it going, but I usually like to tell people how we met. We've been talking like we've known each other here for a minute, and really we've only had one real conversation. It was on Friday. It lasted, I told you it was going to be like just 15 minutes so I can give you the rundown, but we ended up talking for like an hour. Ended up keeping you and Ellie on the phone for an hour, and I'm sorry about that, but
no, man, it's good. You're good.
But we ended up getting to know each other. We got to know you got to know kind of what I'm about, what this is all about, what the podcast is about, foundation, all that stuff. And I wanted to share with the audience how I got in contact with you and how I was able to convince you to come on the show. And just like all the other creators that I have found to come on the show, you popped up on the FYP, right?
Yeah.
For You page on TikTok. Yes, you are a social media influencer, Pedro. I know you don't like, it's weird to think influencer. You're an influencer. How am I an influencer? I'm just putting shit that I like to do out there. Whatever. Okay. But you are. I was going through the For You page, and the first time I saw you was your video dubbed The March. You dubbed it The March. I think what you need to do is you need to repost it and then put that hashtag that you said you wanted to do. So you can repost the video, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So repost it. And I know you wanted to do that hashtag. Fucking tie that hashtag to it, because everybody that I talked to and told them Popz. I was like, he's the one that did that March video. And they're like, oh yeah. So
gotcha.
They already know what the March is. Yeah. You just need to put the hashtag on it. Anyway, that was the first one I saw. It wasn't actually you doing it. The first one I saw was somebody duetting your March video. Right. Yeah. And I saw it and I was like, God damn, that is badass. I immediately knew what you were trying to do, at least in my head. I was like, he's showing, no matter the background, he's showing no matter who you are, that when you're in this, we're all together. When you're in the service, when you're a civil service member, doesn't matter what your background is. You can be redneck country boy, or you can be an emo gothic dude that loves vampires. And it doesn't matter at the end of the day, when the mission comes, we're going to be there for each other. Right. Exactly. These two totally different lifestyles and backgrounds. It doesn't matter. We're brothers. We're brothers and sisters, and we're going to fight for each other. And we're going to die for each other if we need to. And the commonality, huh? Yeah, I'm choking up a little bit.
You can choke it up a little bit.
But the commonality was being the civil service, the military, right? That was the commonality. And you saw how it tied people together. Not only that, it started getting picked up by first responders, cops, firefighters, EMTs. It started getting picked up by linemen, electrical workers. Like, holy crap. Yeah. Like, they get it. They get what you were trying to do with that video. That if you do something that is bigger than yourself for other people, you being the military, doesn't matter what your background is, we're all in this together. Like, that's what I got from it. Yeah. And so I was like, cool. The video, it resonated, and it resonated with a lot of people. So I clicked on the video. I added the guy that duetted you, but then I went to your page and I started looking at some of your stuff, and I'm like, God damn, that's a sexy motherfucker. Like, what the hell? Oh my God. Like, you're that typical fucking damn good looking military guy that you're like, God damn it. Like, you're the guy that they want to cast in the movies to play a fucking, soldier, because not only does he look good, he's an actual military man, right? So I'm like, fuck. Not to mention, believe it or not, a lot of your content, a lot of what you're into. So I'm huge into vampires. Like, I have read every single Anne Rice book that she had about vampires. Interview with the Vampire, Vampire Lestat, and all the vampire. We've gone to New Orleans and gone to the Vampire Ball in New Orleans.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude. During Halloween, I'm telling you, think about it. Think about it this year. We'll go together. Me, you, Ellie, yeah, we'll make it work, because my wife and I want to go. It's in New Orleans. It's the Vampire Ball. Look it up, dude. Amazing experience. I'll don't write it down. I'm going to tell you later anyway.
It's like, wait, hold on, let me pull the stylus out and just put it in real quick. And I was like, dude.
But no, yeah. And so I started seeing that you were into that stuff, and of course it's your smile, and you go real close to the screen and you do this thing. You get real. You get real animated with your voice and your eyes and your smile, and then I don't know, man. Like, I love your content because it's like it's creative. It's a little bit on the darker, I don't want to say emo, but like edgy, darker, like alternative type lifestyle type, and that's all me. Like that's what I grew up in. I love that kind of stuff. I don't post a lot of it, but I mean, yeah, I grew up in that, like all of it. Right. And I was like, I can get along with this dude. So I added you. I liked your shit. I liked your content. You're military. You fell in line. Sweet. Cool. Added you. A couple days later, you went live. You go live late at night quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the thing with me is I don't sleep, so it doesn't matter. But I remember I was in your first live. I was like, hey man, would you like to be in podcast? Hey, would you like to be in podcast? Hey, would you like to be in podcast? But I sent it like 6 or 7 times until you finally saw it. And you're like, yeah, that'd be cool. Send me the info. I sent you the info. Didn't hear from you for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Dick. Anyway, I didn't hear from you for a while. and I was like, I get it. You're busy. You have this massive family. I don't like saying followers. You have this massive family that is constantly reaching out to you, is constantly asking you to say hi, help. So I get it. And then you have this random guy. You have no idea who I am. You have no idea. Just some guy saying, hey, come on a podcast and talk, right?
Yeah.
It took a month and a half to finally have you start responding to me, right? And it actually, I'm going to give this credit all to your girl, because if it wasn't for her, this probably would still be me hounding you and trying to get you on the fucking show.
Yeah.
Ellie saw my comment on your live for, hey, do you want to be in a podcast? Hey, do you want to be in a podcast? And then I was just like, you know what? She's saying email her, contact her. I'm just going to do that. So I went to her. I messaged her. I was like, hey, tell him I would love to be on a podcast. She said, yeah, email. I emailed. She set it all up. Bro, I'm not even crediting you for being on the show right now. I'm crediting her 110%.
Honestly, I got to do the same as well too, because honestly, since she's come into my life and everything like that, especially with everything that's been going, she's been helping me out a lot. Like, I owe her a lot of credit for, contacts and reaching back out to folks and things, because just like how you said, the family that I developed, like the family that I built on TikTok, it blew up unexpectedly exponentially. And the fact that it's taken off and it took off the way it did, she's literally been helping me get things in order. She's helping me where I actually have time now to actually start doing things that I've been wanting to work on primarily, and not throwing this in there as a plug in particular, whatever. But like
there'll be a plug section. You'll be able to plug again later too. So, but yeah, don't worry about it, man. You need a plug away.
Yeah, like just taking care of like me being able to build merch and things like that, organize certain things, respond back to letters that people have written me and things like that. Like, so she's taking care of more of the admin side with contacting other folks or folks, things like that. And she's helped me out tremendously and kind of helped me recenter myself from time to time, especially too when my head kind of gets a little bit like, okay, my brain's getting a little overwhelmed. I'm trying to figure out all of this mess on top of, making sure I'm good doing my stuff at work and just living my own personal life. She's been a huge, huge center point for me, man. And
yeah.
I thank God every day for it.
Well, again, Ellie, I know you're going to listen to this. Thank you. Like, I mean, you've helped set this up. We got Popz here on the show now, which is fucking awesome. I love it. I appreciate you being here. But that's basically how we met. Finally, we set it up. We exchanged numbers. We talked. And here you are. Again, It was me stalking somebody that I thought would be good to have on the show. I know it's weird when a guy stalks another guy, especially when that guy is, saying that he has a podcast and you're not sure about the podcast. And yeah, I get it. It's kind of weird. Some firefighter wants to talk to me and record it.
It's like
when I say it like that,
he doesn't want to watch me while he goes to sleep, right? It's like, because that's kind of odd.
How do you know I haven't?
Oh,
remember you go live late at night.
As long as you have candles lit. If you have candles lit on the side table and everything like that.
Candles lit, naked, lotion on the side table.
With a Bang energy drink right there to kind of
Bang energy, man. I bang myself all night watching you, Pedro. I bang myself all night watching you on your live, man. Bro, do not get me started on the innuendos and the jokes. Look, you're military, so you know the humor is dark to begin with.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
When you're a first responder, the shit we see day in, day out, and we're at work, we have to. If we didn't, we'd be crying all the fucking time. We have to make light on it. But you're here now, and I want to say thank you because we finally got you here, right?
Yeah, no, and I appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate this. Like I said, I mean, you get your podcast is the first podcast that I've ever done. And I'm excited about it as well too, because it's not often folks will want to hear you talk about your stuff, like not just in casual conversation, but it's one thing when it's just casual conversation, but it's another when it's like an actual hey, talk to us and tell us what you're about. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and that's what this is. It's a little bit of both, right? So it's us having a casual conversation.
Yeah,
me and you are still learning about each other. We're still building that friendship and that relationship. But being able to record it and then share it with people allows the audience to feel like they're doing the same thing. They're getting to know you on a deeper level too, instead of just watching your videos or on your live or whatever. Like, they're hearing somebody having a sit-down conversation with you that they feel like they're a part of. And it allows them to get to know you more on a deeper level, more than just 30 to 60 seconds at a time, more than your live where you might be focused or concentrating on something else. This is allowing you to be in the moment with somebody, learning about them and having them learn about you. And in that process, when people come in and listen to it or watch it, they're going to feel you're allowing your family to get closer to you by doing this.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So again, appreciate you being on. Where do you come from, bro? Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Let's go before military. Tell me about your family life. Where did little Popz, Chiquito Popz, where did he come from?
Well, when a man and a woman come together.
Oh, we can take it all the way back there if you want. You know what, Pedro? Yeah, let's talk about your parents having sex. I want you to go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about your parents having sex, Pedro. You brought it up.
But when the birds and the bees happen to play, and then a seed comes through, and then the sprout of sunshine just falls from the sky, like, hello, I'm here.
All right. So who was the bird? Who was the bee when it came to your mother and your father? I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable on this. Come on, man. Let's go. Your parents knocked boots to create you, bro.
That is a true point. And God bless them all and everything like that. That during that time frame, I was the one that they were like, oh, hey, he's here today.
So you don't want to think about it. I got you. I'm just trying to make you feel uncomfortable, but whatever.
You're good, brother. No, it's the no. It's okay. So where I'm from, brother. And just so I just want to give you a heads up on this seminary. You can with the name in particular, the nickname, it's just Popz. Like if you were saying Popz with an S, but just with a Z.
Oh, so I've been saying it fucking wrong the whole time.
It's okay.
And you are just now telling me I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
I'm sitting here listening. I'm like, Popz. And I'm like, I like it. I'm like, but let's tell them.
You literally have been letting me sound like a fucking idiot this whole time. We've been going for almost an hour. We haven't even gotten into the actual interview, and you haven't told me I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I've been even typing it out wrong on your fucking lives and messages. I'll put P-O-P, like capital P, lowercase o, lowercase p, capital Z. That's
perfectly fine. So the way the way I would spell it personally, like before, it would just be like lowercase p, capital O, capital P, lowercase Z. That's just a personal spelling though. But yeah, it's just regular Popz.
Well, thanks for letting me know. Now that I fucked it up already. Jesus.
You didn't fuck it up. You could call me Popz Z all you want, brother. You're good.
Oh, babe.
See, it's those nicknames that we have.
It's a little pet name. Yeah, no.
Pet name, there you go.
Okay, Popz. All
yeah,
right, I got you.
No, because the way I would tell people with that, it's like I'll get to the whole instance about that part right there.
Mm-hmm.
But talking about where I'm from. So, okay, originally, so I, born in a military family. My dad's in the service as well too. We actually, the last unit that I came from before I moved out here to Jersey, me and him were actually in the same unit. But my dad's been in the military.
That's interesting. They don't have any type of nepotism when it comes to that.
No, what it comes down to is as long as the service members aren't in the same section wise, then it's fine.
He can't be your commander
well,
or your superior.
He can still be a superior because he's still higher ranked than me. So regardless
direct superior.
He can't be my direct superior.
You can't be in his squad or in his company or anything like that.
Right. Because it becomes a conflict of interest kind of instances. Like there are family members where they have their soldier, they have like a father and son or father daughter or mother whatever it is, that are in the same unit, but they're just in different elements of the unit, or they're just in different units in general.
Got you. It's the same thing with the fire department.
Yeah. So like my dad was in, he's still in, he's actually got like over 30 plus odd years and everything that he's been in. But, we were just in the same unit. I actually ran an entire different shop than his shop. So he ran one shop and I ran another.
Okay.
So we just worked alongside each other.
So you grew up in a military family. Your dad's been military your entire life. Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up originally in Riverside, California. I was actually born in Birkenfeld, Rheinland-Pfalz, West Germany.
So you're German?
Yeah, German by nationality, because that's a common question I get asked. It's like, what's your nationality? So I'm sitting there like, well, nationality, if we're going to go based off of that, I'm an American German or a Mexican or whichever.
German. Fuck, dude, you are. Yeah,
an American Mexican.
American Mexican, yeah. You're a German taco. Gotcha.
Pretty much, yeah. But instead of the carne asada, it's bratwurst.
Dude,
Which
I
think
take the
about it,
carne
that
asada all day.
I was gonna say, which think about it now, because I love food, and that actually doesn't
Oh, so
sound
do
like
I.
something. So that doesn't sound bad to try,
I mean, I try it, but
Yeah, but no. But yeah, I was born in Germany. My brother was out there as well too, and then we came to the States, and then we moved up to the Central Coast
mhm.
and lived in Fort Ord for a while. So when it was still like a operated base and everything. So after Fort Ord, went down to Southern California to Riverside, where from from like 90 what 92 92 up onto now is where I was raised. And so I grew up in Riverside, California, did my deal as a youngster and everything. All my schools were like up the way from each other. My family kind of has a big influence in that area because we used to own a soccer league out there. And so our family is kind of well known down in Riverside. Did my time in the city, working for the city, kind of got my roots set up there. Again, my father's military, my mom is law enforcement. So she's a deputy sheriff.
Oh,
So
wow.
so I
Okay.
have the mixed background of, military lifestyle and law enforcement lifestyle. So, but growing up from there, did my time. Good.
I was to say, it was almost destined that you were going to fall into a civil service realm, whether it be first responder or military.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because it's like the civil service side. Before I joined the military, I actually I wanted to be a firefighter.
You can
I
still
had
be well, how old are you?
32.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to leave the military to become a firefighter right now, but most cutoff is at 34. So you would have 2 years to make it happen.
Yeah. And then, that's the thing too. It's like when I was that age, like when I was younger, I wanted to be a firefighter. Even when I decided to join, I was looking like, hey, do they have firefighters in the military? And I looked and they didn't have anything. So I was like, okay. Then the next instance was like, well, I want to go to school to be a sniper, or I want to go to school to do this. And obviously eyes, wearing glasses apparently doesn't really help when you're trying to be a sniper apparently.
No, it doesn't.
But no, so growing up, like I said, growing up in a military lifestyle, growing up in the law enforcement lifestyle, it brought me up to keep my eyes open up to a lot of things that are happening all the way around. I mean, I was still a all around like good kid and whatnot. I mean, but just because growing up as a good kid doesn't mean the environment that you live in is always the most pristine. You know what I mean?
No, I got you.
Influence of friends and things like that and whatnot. But you can really ask anyone that has known me since I was a kid that the persona that I have, the way that I am, like happy, cheerful, like chipper, sometimes overly like that,
almost
overly
too nice sometimes.
almost too nice sometimes. That I've been that way since I was a kid.
What would you attribute that to?
It's just I attribute it to the way I was raised. My mom and my dad, seeing the influence that they had in my life and whatnot. My mom was always my mom was my reason to always hunt the good stuff. She was always the reason to hunt the good stuff, because one of the biggest things she always reminded us is that no matter how tough life gets, or no matter how hard we come to things, or we approach certain aspects of our life, or whatever may come our way, that don't be too sad on it, or don't let ourselves get too into our head about it, because if we do, we won't ever get out of it.
Mhm.
And then my dad attributed to it as well too, because on the military aspect, it's the adapt and overcome. You're gonna face shit. You're gonna come across things in your life that are gonna put you down and make you feel like you're worthless or whatever. See it, acknowledge it, but don't let it be something that holds you back. He's a firm believer that in the mentality, you're the one that controls your destiny. You're the one that controls the way you feel and the way you perceive things and how you let it affect you. So I chose to enjoy being happy. I always loved being happy and things like that, because it always, for me, seeing other folks happy was a good thing. And it just kind of stuck.
Have you ever found that trying to have that mentality made it a little bit difficult sometimes for you to kind of, because look, you remind me of the friend in a group of friends where everybody loves them, right? Everybody can reach out to them. They're always happy. They always care about everybody else. If they have a problem with you or you have a problem with them, the problem's most likely them, because you're just that person that's always nice. You're the person that just, no matter what, it's always just, you exude happiness. You exude happiness for them and for yourself. But have you found it difficult sometimes when you do feel down to allow yourself to feel down because of that persona that you've put out? Because look, people look at you and they're like, that's Popz. He's supposed to be happy all the time. Why is he sad? Popz, stop being sad. It's not you.
Yeah.
Like, have you found it difficult to allow yourself to be sad because of that persona you have?
Being honest about it, yeah. It's we'll literally can call it it's a 24-hour job to be Mr. Hunt the Good Stuff, you know? And when I say in that aspect, it's just like how you said, growing up and just in general life and just in general, you know, people do perceive me a certain way. And they're like, he has a smile on his face. He's always happy. He's never sad. He's never this. But like that saying goes, it's like usually the person with the biggest smile, the happiest look, you know, the most outright persona are usually the saddest people, you know. And it's true because, you know, there is a lot of stuff that we do deal with personally that we have to go through that we go through in our personal life outside of what people see, that it hurts us and it makes us feel the way we feel. But when we're in the perceived eye, when we're in plain view of someone else that is going through something, you know, it's like, I got to change it up. I can't let my sadness affect the way that this person's being sad. So I got to help them out. You know, it can be a good thing and a bad thing, because at that point it's trying to adjust accordingly. It's like, the biggest thing I tell folks is you can't help people unless you help yourself. You know, you can't be good for somebody else unless you're good for you first, you know. And I found that from time to time, it does get kind of difficult, you know, trying to balance, like, okay, you know what, I'll tend to push my stuff off to the side, because in my eyes or my mentality, it's like, that person's really struggling through something. If let me give the part of happiness that I have to them, so that way they can be happy, and I'll try to take that from them. You know, there was a video that I had seen on YouTube one time, or I think it was on Facebook, but it was like just an animated drawing, and it was just a, like, kind of a silhouetted or pencil kind of pinned in picture of a person walking, and someone has a little bit of darkness on them, and one of them, the one with no darkness, walks up to him, gives them a hug, and that
then
darkness
transfers to them. Yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
So
and then as soon as that person's darkness is gone, they walk away, and then you're stuck here with their dark. Like, I got it. Yeah. Cause then you're like, okay, now what do I do with this?
Yeah. And then it transitions over and over, because it's like, he takes a piece of darkness from each person that he interacts with. And even just the body motion, the reaction slows down and slumps and things like that, till like he's complete dark. And then it shows someone else coming to him, you know? So it's like, sometimes like that clip actually resonated big time with me, because that's exactly how I feel at times. Like, my goal is, I like to try to help folks be happy, try to see the light. Like I tell people, it's like, be the light at the end of someone else's tunnel, you know? And I try to get them to see that mentality, but it does I do take from that as well too. Like, I take that darkness, or I try to take that darkness away from them. And sometimes I have a hard time trying to expel it out, you know, trying to be that conduit from them to the release, to getting it away from the energy.
Right. And when you take it on, you take it on. Like, it's not just, hey, I'm here for you, get you through it. Well, I got you through it, but now I'm carrying it. Right. And it actually reminds me of something that I say quite a bit as being a first responder. Look, a normal human being that doesn't do the job that we do might see a real tragedy, or be a part of a real tragedy in their lives, maybe once or twice, right?
Yeah.
In their entire lives, they might experience a legit tragedy once or twice in their entire lives. And those tragedies suck. But when you're in the first responder realm, you become part of that tragedy story. And in our job, we respond to people's tragedies every day. So where one person might be a part of their tragedy 2 times in their entire lives, a first responder will see it on a daily basis. Even though it's not our tragedy, we become part of that story.
Yeah.
Right. We're trying to mitigate that tragedy. We're trying to help. So we are that person that tries to take a little bit of that darkness away from that person by either helping them or holding their hand, telling them it's going to be okay, treating them. Military, same way, right? It's on a bigger scale, right? But it's the same thing. You guys are part of something bigger than you. So you're trying to take away the darkness. I mean, you're trying to actually stop the darkness from even getting to somebody. You guys are you guys are trying to make sure that darkness doesn't even get to them, right? That they can concentrate on this darkness over here, that they don't have any idea that this darkness over here is even trying to get to them. You guys are the front line on that. And when we become a part of that, when we try to talk to people, when we try to help, we actually take that on a little bit. It does something to us. And I get when you're like, man, I need to push how I'm feeling aside so I can help this person. Right. But at the same time, it's like you said, how are you going to give 100% of yourself if you're not 100%? How are you going to actually help this person if you're not 100% yourself?
Yeah.
So even though you're pushing away, I'm going to challenge you in saying, even though you're pushing away the emotions you're feeling so you can help somebody else, you're still not giving them 100% of you if you're still dealing with shit.
Mm-hmm.
You might be helping them, sure, but you're still not helping them to the best that you possibly could be. Have you been able to say, hey, look, give me a minute. Let me make sure I'm good, and then I'll come back to you. But we don't do that. What we do is like, all right, tell me what's up. Forget, give me a minute. Look, I'm only at 70% now, but I'll give you 100% of that 70%.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that focus becomes where it's like, like you say, it's a redirected. It's like we literally shut off our feelings of what we're feeling. Because we can be literally in a shitstorm of instances. And we can literally just be like, and see someone hurting, and we just cut, push, and then our entire persona will change and just be focused.
It's beneficial a little bit, but I think it could be more beneficial if we were able to say, I see you. Let me make sure I'm 100% before I come to you, because I want to give you 100% me. I don't want to give you the 70. I want to give you 100% me. It's hard for us, for people like you and me, to do that. It's really hard for a lot of people like you and me, like Fiegel, LJ, even the big creators, JT, Laybourne, Kevin Lawson, Ed dudes. I mean, you're talking these huge creators, right?
Yeah, Kingry as well.
Kingry,
too,
yeah. They have their own shit. Like they're quote unquote big influencers, very, very popular, famous influencers. But I think people tend to forget that we're human beings too, first, right?
Yeah.
They have their lives. They have the shit that they have to deal with as well. And so when they go off and try to help somebody, you might not be getting that 100%. You might think that they're putting out that 100%, but they might have that 30% that they're dealing with in the background that you don't have no idea about.
Yeah.
Right. You grew up this kind of way, right? You grew up this way your whole life. It sounds like, and you say it is kind of hard for you to allow yourself to be sad, or to allow yourself to actually deal with those feelings, because people almost expect that of you, expect you to be that happy guy. You're the guy they come to for the happiness. Like, don't be sad, Popz, because I'm coming to you. You better be fucking smiling, because I'm coming to you sad. You need to be smiling. You're the one always smiling. So don't stop. I better see those fucking dimples right now, like, right?
I need that happy. I need that happy right now, damn it.
Yeah, I need those dimples right now. God damn it. And then you almost feel obligated, and then you feel like you're forgotten, and you're like, God damn. And then all of a sudden you break.
Yeah.
You ever gotten to that point? You ever come to a point where you broke?
That I've come to a few points. There it hasn't been just one single point or two single points. I've had a number of different points where I've got to that threshold where it's like I can't function. Like I can't breathe, I can't think, I can't. And when I say can't see, I mean like not saying like I can visually see without my glasses or whatever. It's like I can't see my purpose, or see not my purpose per se, because I've actually reached those points before at times. But it's like I can't see my focus. I can't find my center. And like I said, coming up in the military, law enforcement family, my mom, my dad, parents split when I was 7 years old. And so it was me, my older sister, and one of my brothers, as the three of us were with each other, but trying to take care of each other at a young age. My dad was doing his thing. My mom was doing her thing, busy with work, but they were trying to take care of us at the same time. So for us to keep ourselves on the up and up. And then dad remarried. I had a stepbrother, then I have a half brother, things as well. And then just trying to balance the chaos of all of that coming up, even going through elementary school, middle school, and high school. I had some breaks early on, and because again, my siblings were taking care of themselves, but I was always the type where I didn't need anybody to kind of take care of me, kind of setup, or keep me happy, because I keep myself entertained. But when you're growing up and you're just a nice person and everyone looks to you to be happy and they're coming up to you with so much problems, it does take its toll and it does build. So there have been times where I'll just sit there and lose focus and not even be willing to get out of bed, not wanting to, see things, go enjoy things that I used to enjoy, because I'm so inundated with the darkness, that I lose my ability, or I feel like I'm losing my ability to just be myself or enjoy myself. I can't see myself anymore.
Right.
Had some cases like that hit a little bit younger, wasn't so pronounced until like after joining the military and things like that, and not negating, not saying like my issues happened after the military. It's just there are underlining things that of course occurred afterwards, because you don't realize what you're going through until you actually start seeing other people going through it. Because then at that point you're like, okay, I can relate to that. Like, this is what I've been going through also. So is this exactly what I'm facing or what I'm going through? I've had my breaking points, like I said. Thank God, like my family, I thank my family every single day, for being there to help me and support me through it. Because there've been times where, I've called my mom up, and as a grown ass man, I've called my mom up or my dad up, like just in tears, being like, I can't breathe, I can't do this. I'm struggling so hard, because it's like, when am I going to be able to be happy outside of trying to solve? And that's what it was. Is I was always trying to solve someone else's problem. I was Mr. Fix It, and I'm like, when am I going to try to have that opportunity to be happy, for me, not for anybody else, not because someone else needs a little bit of a light, not because I want to help this person be happy, but when am I going to be happy just because of me, But even though those times do happen, again, I always credit that. And I always go back to that quote that I say, it's like, be the light at the end of someone else's tunnel. It's that little spark always helps, keeping that little spark lit keeps that spark of hope for you. Like I said, Ellie is a huge example, because like there have been times where I start feeling my spark going out, and I saw hers. I saw her light at the end of my tunnel, because that's where I felt like I was getting to at some point. And sure enough, and it just started conversations, just casual conversation. And as we started building conversation, that light started getting brighter and brighter, until, her flame came in contact with mine. So like I said, I credit my family, I credit her for helping me realize and helping me see myself again, so that way I can actually be happy for myself, and not that I don't have to be happy for other people, that I can still help other folks, and I can still talk to them, and I can still reach out to them, and they can reach out to me. But I can understand that, hey, you need to take time for you to be happy, because you get so focused on trying to take care of other people, you obviously forget to take care of yourself. Think about it like how they say people in certain industries. Medical folks are so horrible at taking care of themselves medically because they're too concerned about taking care of other folks.
I will not confirm or deny that.
IT folks are horrible. Like some IT folks are horrible at taking care of their IT stuff because they're so kept on other people.
Yeah,
things
they're
like that.
tired of doing it for other people. It's just like, oh, fuck it, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's it's like, but it's like, because like you can ask Al, like whenever I'm home, like my technology is like I'm a tech guy. I have tech all over the place and everything like that. But like my phone or whatever, it's usually plugged in on the charger and just sitting, or in another room. Like I don't have it. I'm either just watching a show, or I'll play with my dog. Things like that.
You just try to detach.
Yeah, I try to detach a little bit so that way I can recenter, refocus. But yeah, recentering it back to what you were talking about. I have felt those times and everything, and I remind myself that I'm fine. It's okay for me to feel the way I feel. It's okay for me to detach, to let go from time to time. But if I let go, I have to have that anchor. I have to have that poltergeist rope. It's like I go into the TV, but I still have that line holding.
You have that tether to pull you back. Yeah, you have that tether to pull you back. We talked about your military and everything. We never actually said what branch you went into.
Oh, okay. So I'm in the United States Army. I joined the reserves in 2006. What came in under the DEP program, which is the delayed entry program.
Okay.
So on signature paper, I have been in for 14 years. As of the 27th of 2006. According to pay, I've been in for 13 years and some change. Because my pay, because I went to basic in February of 2007.
All right. Okay, so Army. What's your job?
So the initial instance when they signed me in was a information systems analyst and operator.
Jesus.
And then I'm a signal support specialist. So basically, it's a fancy way of saying I work.
You're the radio guy.
Geek Squad and Radio Shack. Yep. That's usually the best way I tell people when they ask me what I do. Like, so right now the position I hold, I'm a staff sergeant right now in E6. Hopefully crossing fingers, knock on wood, and light a candle, whatever, I could pick up my 7 sometime this year, like early this year. But right now they have me as a senior network operations NCO.
So I run. Deployed?
I've been deployed 3 times.
You know where this is going, right? You've seen any action? Have you ever been in any combat situation overseas?
So in like as far as the direct line of drawing fire for kind of combat instances, no. I have had instances where on post where our post was attacked a number of different times. My first deployment was in 0809. I deployed to Baghdad, Iraq, and I still remember to this day. We got in around 2300, mid 2300 or whatever. They're giving us a safety brief and everything, and as far as where we're here, telling us where the facilities are at, where our barracks are going to be staying at, the chews that we're going to be staying in. And one of the biggest things that stuck with me was, so we have been having incomings, mortar attacks and everything from time to time. So if you do hear a mortar attack, you have 2 things. If you're outside, hit the ground, wait till you get a clear amount of time to get through, and then find the nearest bunker and then take shelter. After that, then stay there until you hear the all clear and whichever, and then report back to your units. Meet a rally point. And then the other one was, if you're inside of a facility, a building of any kind or a hardtop, stay inside. Don't get out. Just stay there until you hear the all clear, all clear. And I still remember the following morning, it was 06:45 in the morning. I get up, about to start my day. I literally sit up on my bed, turn over, put my feet on the ground and stand up, and 5 mortars hit the base. So what do? I was like, okay, that's a nice wake-up call. Welcome to Baghdad. It's welcome to Baghdad. So I just went, laid back in bed and everything, and I was just waiting, heard the all clear, went to the office, and they're all asking, where were you at? And the biggest thing was we got hit, and they said stay in the room until all clear. So, but the post that I was at, we did get hit a number of different times. A couple of them I did see the impacts come through, which kind of obviously shook it up. Traveled from installation to from fob to fob and whatnot. And one of the fobs that we did go to, or that I was out there for a 40-day mission. Literally just casually walking from work, and stopped off to see a little talent show that they were having, or a little karaoke talent show thing that they were having on one of the fobs.
Mm-hmm.
And a mortar hit our post, and close enough where you could see the flash, you can feel the percussion of it. So hit the ground, obviously. Once a time spread between the attack, ran to the nearest bunker and just took cover. After that, things got all cleared, talked to my folks, let them know I was still alive, still were good, But the one where they had the most significant instance was, like I said, my deployment in 0809. And then my other two deployments that I went to, I tell people, it's like they ask me, did you where those places I deployed to? I'm like, yeah, Iraq, and then I went to Kuwait twice, but Kuwait was a timeshare. Because I was in Arab John in 2016 and in 2018.
Well,
the Iraq deployment was a full year, the 16 deployment was a full year, and then the 18 deployment was a 9-month tour.
So almost 3 years total.
Almost 3 years overseas. Yeah.
Well, first, thank you for your service and going off and do that. The reason why I ask, obviously, is because we hear a lot of military veterans come back from combat or come back from overseas, especially in hostile territory, and the experience can cause PTSD, right? PTSD is huge in the military, in the veteran world. You and I both know this very much so, and it actually has become quite a bit of it's hard for me to say it right, but it is a hot topic now, right? It's a very popular issue to talk about, and it should be. It absolutely needs to be talked about. It needs to be dealt with. The 22 a day, that shit needs to be talked about. It needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Right. And you are a huge advocate for PTSD awareness in the military, and you should be. My point being a first responder is I feel like on the back end of that, being a first responder here at home, where it not until recently has it become more of a quote unquote popular issue to finally start, talking about.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like the first responders kind of got pushed to the back once the military started talking about it. Again, not holding any animosity, not holding, it's just the nature of the beast. It's what happened, right? Military is very much respected and looked up to, and first responders here are almost look like as well, that you're here, you're supposed to be here, like it's just a part of life here. You see a fire truck or a cop or an EMS box, an EMT box, like it's just a part of life here. Like that's just what we are. Like it's there, it's always there. So it's not really thought about that much. Whereas military, we hear them coming back from overseas, and it's a little bit different because we don't see it every day, right? The general public doesn't see it every day. And so they're not, I don't think the whole complete awareness of how firefighters and cops and EMTs and dispatchers and how the stresses of the job that we deal with are just as important as the ones that our military is dealing with when it comes to stress, PTSD, depression, anxiety, mental health, illness in general.
Yeah.
I think they're both very much on par with each other. Stresses are different. I get that. 100% I get that. But your brain doesn't differentiate between stress. Stress is stress. Your brain's going to react the same way, your fight or flight. But it's not until recently that first responder PTSD and suicide awareness and mental health awareness has become more of a talking point. It's catching up to again, I hate using the word popularity, but it's catching up to the popularity of the veterans.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we should get it to where it's on par, that no matter what civil service you're in, be it a first responder and or a military, civil servant, that we're all exposed to that kind of stress and anxiety, and we all need to support each other, military and first responders, because we have something so much in common, that when it comes to mental health, there's something so much in common with us that I think we should be able to support each other. We should be able, firefighters, cops should be able to support the 22 a day movement. Mm-hmm. But on the same token, military should be able to support first responder mental health as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, again, it's not anything to say that I have resentment towards it. It's just something I've noticed. It's that first responder mental health kind of got pushed to the back burner for the military coming in, and it's very popular. It got pushed.
Yeah.
It's just now starting to get pushed with first responder. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing with the podcast and having military personnel on and first responder personnel on, because I want to show that we're all human.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Jesus Christ. Look, I heard this from one of my guests, Logan McKinney. He's a former Leo law enforcement officer. Okay. He said, where the feelings that you feel, the stress, the depression, the anxiety, the feelings that you're feeling are normal feelings, because you're a normal person doing an abnormal job. You're not doing a normal job. You're a normal person doing an abnormal job, and you choose to do that job. And just because you choose to do that job does not mean the stresses don't affect you any differently.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and you're right. Cause it's like when you think of PTSD, and taking it out of the mentality of military, taking it out of the mentality of like from the professions that we are. When you think of PTSD, immediately the first thing that comes up is what? Military.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because like you said, the experiences that we go through, like they're sending us away to a far off land to go do military stuff, to do combat stuff, but, and then like you said, everyone here on the home state, on the home front, Leos, fire, freaking medical, everyone that does the stuff here, they look at it as, well, you signed up for it. It's your job. It's your job. So why are you complaining about it? I mean, if you get the way I was thinking about it while you were talking about it, I was thinking like, if you put military, like a soldier or a person from every branch of the military, a person from every branch of the medical, fire, Leo and everything, put them all in a group, and you have them walk down the street. And who do you think the people, like, I know they would say thank you for your service, but who would you think that they would be focused on with that person's been through some shit? Military, and they forget that on the Leo side, on the medical side, on the fire side, every battlefield is different. Military, we already know our battlefield for what we have to deal with and everything as well. But the Leo side, Leo's battlefields are different. Fire, your guys' battlefield is a whole hell of a lot different. You guys are literally like the closest to hell that gets, because of fire, because of the fire you have to deal with, Mm-hmm. Medical, their battlefield is different, because they're battling everything like that's going on right now. That's why everyone now lately has been coining the term like, hey, medical's now on the front line, because technically they are.
They always have been.
They're always in the front. Fire's on the front line of maintaining, fires from going crazy. I mean, hell, when the fires in California, when primarily because California just is a big ass fire.
It's a tinderbox. It's a tinderbox.
Yeah, we literally have a season for fires, and us from California, and it's like, okay, it's fire season. Literally, we just talk it as casual, But when the fires were going crazy in California, or fires were going crazy in Australia, that was a huge battle itself. And the PTSD that folks get, fire gets, the PTSD for Leos, for medical, for, obviously for military, for things like that. People forget that your guys' PTSD is just as important, because you deal with it more on a daily basis than what military. Military can go a bunch of time without, like, say in a perfect world, there was no war, right? Mm-hmm. No wars were going on or things like that. The military with no war would be fine, just dealing with the normal shenanigans of normal day to day. But the battle that's fire, Leo, medical, still have to fight, because there's always going to be fires. There's always going to be crime. Unfortunate to say it that way. And there's always going to be sick people. That's still a fight that they're constantly having to deal with every single day, and the toll that it takes on them every single day. Like I said, coming from a Leo family and having a bunch of friends that are Leos or that are in the law enforcement in particular. With Ellie, she's the previous EMT, EMS, and everything like that. So she would tell me stories of what she went through, you know, and hearing about it, it's just like, holy crap. You know, I have friends that are nurses as well too, that have gone through some stuff that are actually still trying to take care of people that have COVID, you know, and they can't see their kids, they can't see their families. I have friends that are firefighters that have told me stories about what they've gone through, having to deal with blazes and things like that, you know, having to go into a room and realizing that's a body and not a fucking burnt piece of chair, you know, and hearing the horror stories that they have to deal with. And so it's like people forget, like, PTSD awareness is fine as so long as PTSD awareness is good, but just don't centralize and focus on it in one location. It has to be spread across the board. You know, like
it is spread across the board, and not even just on civil service. Look, his episode hasn't aired yet, and you'll hear it. But Fiegel actually, and he said it, and who else said it? LJ said this. He goes, yeah, PTSD is not special to any one set of people. Mental health issue is not special to one set of people. And the reason why it pissed him off is a girl said she had PTSD from an experience she had as a child, and some veterans came in and said, well, that's not real PTSD because you're not a veteran, you're not military. How can you be? But that just goes to show how much the idea that PTSD can only be military was pushed, right? It was pushed so much that we forgot about normal, we're human. PTSD happens with everybody. You can't, she had no control over what happened to her and the experience she had to go through and how it had affected her throughout her life. That's PTSD. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Military, first responder, everybody. Yes. Statistics show that being in any civil service field, you will develop, or you are 10 times more likely to develop than the general public a mental health issue, whether it be PTSD, depression, anxiety, all the way down to bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. You can develop these things. You're 10 times more likely to develop these things just for being in a civil service job, be it first responder or military.
Yeah.
On top of that, we're in civil service, be it military, first responder, we're 4 times more not more likely. We're killing ourselves 4 times. For every one person that commits suicide in the general public, there's 4 of us that do it.
Yeah.
If that rate continues, there's not going to be any first responders. I mean, we're already a small group already, right?
Yeah.
Like, if that rate continues, it's what the fuck? How are we going to? How do we
take care of our own if we're not taking care of our own?
Exactly. Right. And so, oh man, it's mind boggling, these numbers, right? Did you ever find yourself, and we're going to get into, I'm going to ask you a very deep personal question. You can answer it or not. Have you ever found yourself to be suicidal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it just ideations, or did you ever have an attempt?
So in the instances and before, in the beginning, there was instances where I tried before, you know, where it was the ideations of ideas of thoughts. And obviously, like, you know, what if I wasn't here? Would people be better off? No one really cares or pays attention to me anyways. Like, what's my purpose, kind of thing. So I did have those instances. And yes, I actually have had my attempts as well too. I have attempted suicide about 7 times. About 7 times I tried, and all of them failed because it was either I got close to it, or as I attempted, something stopped me. You know, and that's why, like, I tell folks, it's like what they go through. It's not that they're alone on the instance, because like I said, the happiest people usually are the ones that are hurting the most. You know, you struggle a lot, you go through a lot, your mentality kind of just changes on certain things and things like that, and, during the time of my years and everything, and it wasn't like I tried every single time, like back to back. It was like, there have been times in between where things have happened, and certain circumstances of life kind of get you the weight of, certain things happen and whatnot. And so thankfully in between those times, I sought help, I talked to someone, I voiced it to someone. Thankfully I found a group of folks and everything like that, and found a way for me, not as a coping mechanism, but I found a way to help me get right to center. We all stray from the path from time to time, and sometimes we stray further away, but just like how we were saying earlier, having that tether to pull you back as a reminder. I'm a Roman Catholic. I can't say I'm super strong in my religion. Like, I don't go to church every Sunday and everything, but I do believe in my faith. I'm very strong in my faith. I do, believe in God and Jesus Christ and the saints and everything. And I'm like, I'll find myself from time to time, in time of need, I'll pray, but even after, even not in time of need, I'll pray as well too. And I found, keeping my instances with my faith, asking, praying to God when I'm struggling in certain cases, praying to my family members who have passed, because they're like pillars of strength in my life. Even though they're not here anymore, they're pillars of strength in my life that I remember seeing them, or I've heard of them. I had a grandfather who was also in the service as well, that passed away before I was born. Parents of family would tell me stories about how he was as an individual. So I prayed to him, asking for strength. My grandfather, my dad's dad, who was also named Pedro Alemán. So I'm the third of my family.
Oh, you're the third. I'm
the third, yeah. And so I pray to him because I remember him when he was still alive, what his strength was and everything, But finding those points of potential, points of essence that I can talk to or reach out to, finding my instances that bring me joy, my singing. Like, I sing all the time. I'm a big old singing nut and everything like that. So
yeah,
singing.
No, we've heard you on your live. We know you like to sing. We get it. And then you have all the girls swooning over. Sing this to me, Pedro. Sing this to me, Pedro. It's so hard. Like by the way, just quick side note. It is really hard for me to say Pedro, by the way, because I keep wanting to say Pedro, because that's how, like, I come from a Hispanic family, right? All my family's from El Paso, Texas. My dad's side of the family is all Hispanic Mexican. My mother was adopted from Canada. So yes, I'm a Mexinadian. I'm a Mexinadian or a Canadian taco, or
you're a Connexican.
A Connexican. Yeah. It's like Mexico and Canada came to the middle in America, and then boom, here I am.
An American Connexican.
American Connexican. Yeah. Or Mexinadian or Mexinadian. Yeah, Canadian taco. There's no real good Canadian food that you can. It's got to be Canadian taco. Coconut, whatever you want to call it. The light right now is not showing my tan because it's really bright, but you're probably a little darker than I am. But
I'd say like you're a golden Oreo. There you
go. Damn. Never thought of it that way. Golden Oreo. Golden Oreo. Damn. Jesus Christ. I'm going to start using that.
They're delicious though too.
Oh, come take a bite, Pedro. Come on, come take a bite.
Oh, no.
I'm not gay, but $20 is $20, bro.
$20 is $20. Yeah. My face is hurting.
But like I said, anyway, it's just hard for me to say Pedro, because you even referred to yourself Pedro, and I'm like, hey, I can say that, but you're like, everybody just calls me Pedro, so just call me Pedro. And I'm like, I can really whitewash it and go Pedro. I can whitewash it big time.
I've had it. I've had it. Folks will call it 3 different ways. They'll go Pedro, like it's Padro, and I've actually had people spell it out as Padro or Paydro. The English way to pronounce it, like literally like the proper English way, I guess, whatever, would be Pedro, because it's Pe. Pedro. I can't even see the word either. Pedro is fine too, just to saying it like normal Hispanic. So either one, or that's why I say just call me Popz. It's easier.
That works.
So Popz. Whichever works to call me, that's perfectly fine.
Cool. But the reason why I'm saying yes, we know that you like to sing, is because you have all these you have everybody come into your life. You'll be singing and I'm like, oh crap, here he goes again. And here he goes. And you're random too. Like you'll be singing, you'll read a comment, you'll stop. Yeah. Oh, la, 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 la. Oh yeah, that's cool. But blah, blah, blah. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, you sing or don't sing. Like finish the song. But
It's like keeping the interaction with them, you know?
Yeah. Well, trust me. You looking all pretty and singing there, they're interacted. Trust me, they're all in.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a little bit of your therapy. You found things that can bring you back to your center, right? And it's crazy how this we're going to get now into your content and your social media platform now, because what you're doing, I think, is amazing. And thank you for kind of sharing a little bit of your past, and thank you for being open and honest about your suicide and what brought you back, because I think people need to hear that. Look, just because you're seeing us and you see us smile and you see us and you hear us talk and you see us trying to help people, it's a constant battle. We're still trying to find that balance, right? And I want people to know that it's not a constant search for happiness, right? It's not. It can't be. If you find somebody that is happy all the time, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. That nobody is happy all the time. If they're happy all the time, they're completely disconnected from life, right? But at the same time, you shouldn't find somebody that's sad all the time, because if they're sad all the time, they're completely disconnected from life. They're in their head. What we need to be striving for, and what we really, really, really should be looking for, is balance. Yeah, is calm. Allow yourself to be happy when you're happy. Come back down to calm. Go down. If you're sad, be sad. Allow yourself to be sad, but come up to be calm. When you're sad, don't strive to go and find that happiness again, because when you get that happiness again, when it starts going away, you're gonna go back to sad. And that's bipolar disorder, by the way, people. You want a good medium. You want to allow the bad things to just be the bad things and the good things to be the good things. And that way you can experience both and come back to good, even keel. I'm good. I'm okay. Okay is okay. You don't always have to be happy.
Yeah, in 2014, like I told you in the phone call we had, 2004, no, it's not 14, 2016. I went through a master resiliency program. So for the Army, it's basically our way. That's the epitome class of hunting the good stuff. And there's two esters that you pointed out that speak on that level. One of them is detecting icebergs, because what it is, for instance, the people that are either too happy or too sad. You see the top of the iceberg as the part that they show, but the bottom, the other part that you don't see, is the remaining portion of the iceberg, what's under the water, you know, the boundary line. That's what sits above the water. And you can be a small amount of the iceberg, or it can be like a massive, huge instances that the person's not showing from the top, you know? So it's basically people's perspective of the individuals up top, whereas they don't understand what's going on underneath. And then the other portion was called PIP, put it in perspective. You know, you have to be able to be conscious and aware, like, be aware of a circumstance. You're allowed to have your moment of being sad. You're allowed to have your moments of being happy. It's recognizing what's happening, understanding and being like recognizing it, that it shit sucks, but it doesn't always suck. You know, that it's like, I'm going to go through this situation for a bit, but doesn't mean I'm going to be stuck here forever. You know, it's the moment when they start letting it go, where they start catastrophizing, which is another one. Mm-hmm. They start going into a downward spiral. They start scatter shooting, where they start choosing like different topics of angst or issues or things like that, where they start like making no sense. They circle back, you know, another one is circling, you know, and those are the things that will kind of break them, as opposed to help them get themselves better. It's just how they, like I said, I can literally go through an entire MRT class in just this short little period, because, but I'm just going to keep it to a degree.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
But basically, like, the whole intent of it is just like recognizing the things that we go through in our lives, you know, the circumstances. Again, when I was going through my issues and whatnot, thank God, like, and I'm a firm believer that people that come, like, God puts people in your path, or puts people in your life that, you know, you're meant to meet. They puts them into your lives for one of three reasons: lesson learned, an experience gained, or both. And it doesn't have to be, it can just be general interaction, or it can be relationship interactions. But because there's something you pick up from them, or you pick up all, you know. And I thank God every day too for the people I've interacted with, because there have been times where I felt my lowest, like to the lowest point in degrees, where I've gone into a thinking mentality, or I've almost, you know, I was processing, attempting, or I've almost attempted. And a simple phone call, you know, saved me. Or somebody coming over to the house the day before or whatever saved me, you know, because just of the interaction, or just literally meeting someone at the bar, having a casual conversation with somebody I have no idea who they are, and it helped. And even though I would never see those people again, just those conversations, just getting a little bit of that angst out, because people are more likely to talk to somebody else than they feel comfortable talking to their families or friends, because sometimes family and friends, they'll see you for who you are. They see you for what they see and what they've known. But when you talk to somebody you've never met, and you talk to someone you have no connection with, you can actually, you feel more at peace to open up to them, because it's like, they're not going to see me again. So fuck it. You know, let me just have a conversation with them. And you're actually,
you almost don't care about their judgment. You're just using it as a chance for you to be how you feel you are. No, I get it. So, you hit on the conversation thing about what I like to advocate for, and what I've learned and what helped me is that I learned that there's just like 3 conversations you really, really need to have. Conversation is, I think, the foundation for somebody to start getting better, right? Is the conversation. The first conversation, obviously, you need to have with yourself. You need to tell yourself what's going on. You need to believe it in yourself, and you have to understand what's going on with yourself. Or you need to be okay with the fact that you don't know what's going on with yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's okay too. But you need to have that conversation with yourself, like, hey, what's going on with me? I don't know, but I want to fix it. That's a conversation. You need to have that with yourself. You need to come to that realization with yourself, and then believe it.
Yeah.
The second conversation you need to have with the people that are closest to you, the ones that you love, the ones that support you on a day-to-day basis. That goes from your spouse, your kids, your parents, your coworkers, the people that see you on a day-to-day basis. You need to be open and honest with them 110%. The reason being is, if you do break or you do have a slip, they're going to understand that, hey, he told me this might be a thing. I don't have to worry too much because he's aware. Right. When we see somebody break and we're not aware that they're aware, it becomes a much bigger issue, because we get scared. We want to help. We want to call 911 right now. You know, like but if you allow them to know where you're at, it will soften the blow for those that are around you, because the ones that are around you and care for you, they want to be there for you. They want to support you. They want to love you. They want to show you that they care. But if you don't tell them what's going on and you break, they feel like they're failing and helping you. Right. And you then feel like you're causing a burden on them, because here they are feeling bad for you. And you're like, see, I'm just more of a burden. I'm making you feel bad because I feel bad. Well, had you told them, hey, look, there's something going on. I'm not sure. If I slip, it's not you, it's me. Then they can be, okay, hey, I understand it's him. Let me help him. It's not me. But you have to have the conversation. Third conversation that you need to have, you got to talk to a professional. Mm-hmm. You have to go and talk to somebody that has studied this, that knows the science behind it, because believe it or not, mental health, you can break down to a biological level. It's your brain not firing right.
Yeah.
If you're constantly sad, it's not because there's something wrong with you. I mean, it's not who you are. Just because you're sad doesn't mean you're a sad person. Just because you're depressed doesn't mean you're a depressed person. It's not who you are. It's just something that's just not working just right, but you can fix it.
Yeah, it's a chemical imbalance that you.
Yes, it's exactly what it is. Your brain is not firing right. And just a few years ago, they learned that there's this thing called neuroplasticity. If you don't know what that is, go read up on it. You have the power to rewire your brain. Did you know that? They used to think that once your brain was developed, whatever you are, once that 26, 27 years happens, your brain's fully developed. They used to think that once that's it. Like there's no, like the way you think is going to be the way you think forever. No, they just learned that you can actually rewire your brain.
Well, think about it in this case right here, real simple. And I'm going to go like on the tech side about it. Think about the older generations above us and everything, or just in general, whichever, or even us in our cases as well. Think of all the new things that we've learned along the way. You know, obviously technology has changed vastly throughout the whole time frame. I mean, we're talking video to video, you know, over the phone, hundreds of thousands of miles, or hundreds of miles away or thousands of miles away from each other.
Right.
Somebody in the older generation of us, thank God, like I would say like us, we grew up in the generation where we literally transitioned. We grew up in the transition generation where we had the stuff where we were still picking up the phones or waiting till the DSL line freaking got off so you can get on, or waiting till someone else got off the phone so you can get on the phone or whatever, you know, to the degree where it's like now you can have like 15 people in the same room on the phone at the same time because they're on cell phones, you know. But the older generations that haven't had this, you can give them an iPhone or a smartphone or any kind of whatever device. They'll look at it all confused, but they'll still know how to mess with it. You could teach them, okay, this is how you answer a call. This is how you make a call. This is where you go to do this. This is where you go to do that. That is a huge example right there, saying that your brain is not done learning. You know, the whole saying is like, it's time to teach a dog new tricks, or you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's bullshit. You can teach anybody new things. It's up to the person whether they want to learn it, but it's also up to the capacity of what they're trying to learn too. It may take time, some folks a little bit of time to get to that point, or some folks might pick it up right away. But ultimately, at the end of the day, your brain never stops learning. You're always learning, because what is it they say? I don't know the exact percentage of like the exact percentage of it, but we only use only a small portion of our brain compared to what the full capacity of we can use it.
I think we only use 7% of our brain.
Yeah. And there was a movie that they came out with, Lucy.
Yes, that, or just Limitless too. Limitless, where they give you the drug and then your whole brain starts firing, and then you can start manipulating, just being a part of the energy and everything, just being more aware.
Right. But that would be pretty badass. So just to be like, it'll touch a computer, your hand morph to it or something like that, and you just download data from your hand.
That would be awesome. Like Matrix shit.
Mm-hmm. But that's the point. It's like, you know, you do use that certain capacity, but you're never done learning. You're never going to be done learning.
Never. Absolutely. You will never be done learning. Mm-hmm. Let's get into your content. We were about to do that, and then I made fun of you for singing, and then we got off into this rabbit. I told you I like rabbit trails, man. I told you I'm totally cool with them, because look, we learned something. I got to edit that out. I constantly hear this.
Oh my bad.
You're good.
It's like I'll hold that just in case.
Nah, I don't fucking care, dude. Editing, it's tedious, but it's not hard.
Gotcha.
Your content. When did you get on to social media? Specifically, let's stick specifically with TikTok, because even if you were on Facebook and Instagram and all that other stuff, it's probably not near as popular as it is now here on this platform.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm sure you had a Facebook at a younger age like I did, and Instagram I just got on a couple years ago. Twitter.
Brother, we're all from the age of AIM.
Yeah, exactly, man. Oh, ASL.
Mm-hmm.
ASL question mark.
Everybody.
ASL question mark.
Those damn chat rooms waiting to get in and everything.
Yeah. Anybody want to cyber?
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh damn.
All the younger generation right now listening to the show is gonna be like, what the hell does that mean? What is cyber? Anybody want to cyber? What is he talking about?
It's like we're from the age of cyber. It's like we are not the same, yo. We are not the same.
We're not the same. If you don't know what that is, you're gonna continue not knowing what it is unless you ask somebody, because I ain't gonna say it. Anyway.
It's like gonna be a bunch of people listening to this. As soon as they're gonna hear that, they're gonna start laughing their asses off.
Oh
And then
yeah.
their family, either whoever they're with, they're gonna be like, "What the hell are you laughing at?" Oh damn.
But yeah, so yeah, we do come from the AIM days, and
Yeah.
but when did you decide to get on this social media platform, TikTok?
So go ahead.
And what did you start off with?
Okay, so when I first started off on TikTok, I actually started watching the videos not on the platform yet. And
Mhm.
only reason why, and I have to credit my sister because my sister was the one that actually got me into TikTok. She would just send my family videos in a group chat that we had of like funny things she would see. And I would see them and I would be like, you know, there's no way in hell, absolutely no way in hell that I'm gonna download TikTok or I'm gonna make a TikTok because I didn't at first didn't know what it was about, you know.
Mhm.
And I saw some of the videos and I thought they were funny. Some of them came across my Facebook timeline and everything, so I thought some of the videos were funny. And then she would kept on telling me about it. She goes, "You're gonna sign up because of the type of person you are. I guarantee you're gonna watch it and you're gonna start making stuff and you're gonna start getting this and start getting that." I'm like, "Nope, it ain't gonna happen." And whatever. Well, it wasn't until now, mind you, this is like a couple years, but she's telling me this, and it wasn't until 2000 and no last year in 2020, I downloaded the app because I was able to watch the videos, and I found out I didn't have to sign up, so I was like, cool. So I downloaded the app, created the account because that's when I guess I thought to see more is when I was able to. I had to have an account created, so I created one. It was like early 2020, and so in doing that, was it 2020? Yeah, 2020. I'm trying to remember my years and everything because yeah, okay. But actually no, it was early 2019. I don't know. It was somewhere between 2019 2020.
Let's just go. You've been on the app for a year and a half to 2 years. Let's
Yeah.
stick with that.
We'll go. I've been on the app for a year, 2 years, or whichever. But then I downloaded it, started liking it, and in like actually yeah, mid 2020, I decided to start making content. Really got into it, and the reason why I started getting more into it is because the last post that I had seen on Facebook, which turned me to it, was them burning the colors, you know. And so yeah, so because I had opened up my Facebook feed, and the first video that I see was them setting the colors on fire. It hurts. It hurts to see that shit because, you know, we support, you know, and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You know, we have an oath that we swore, and those colors represent something to folks. It's just colors, whatever. But for us, you know, we have brothers and sisters, we have family members that we've lost and things like that, that, you know, civil service side and military side that are covered, that the last thing we see of them is those colors draped over their, you know, their coffins, you know, and, you know, respects to them and everything. I know it's coffee, but
Yeah.
you know, respects to them. But that's the last thing we see. So for us, it hits a lot more. So seeing those colors being burned really struck a huge chord with me. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this shit no more. Like, I can't be on this anymore because this is all it's turned into. And I remember my sister telling me, she had just sent me a video of TikTok, and I looked at it and I was like, you know what? Let me download stuff, or let me actually look into it more. So I re-downloaded the app, was looking up some stuff, created my profile, and I saw people making stuff. And then I figured out I can make something myself. So the first thing that I did, to kind of not so much commemorate, but to kind of be like, you know what, I'm going to show my support. It was literally me playing taps on a ukulele that I bought when I was in Hawaii the year before and I didn't realize how I did it. It was just me playing taps. Played it on the ukulele, and it was at 2200 as when I uploaded the video, 2200. And when I uploaded the video, I didn't realize in the background that I had the colors in my front yard, but I had them. It was a nice night, a little chilly. Crickets were chirping, and the colors were just waving. And it was like literally the most pristine and perfect ambiance and setting.
It couldn't have been better. That's like the perfect background.
It couldn't have been. Yeah. And then you can hear me playing taps, and slightly in the background, you can actually hear taps playing from one of the bases that were in the local area, from Pearson Air Force Base. Okay. So you can hear taps playing. So I'm playing taps while taps is playing too. And so I uploaded the video, and from that, I started seeing the interactions. People talking like, this is beautiful, this is amazing, what a perfect setting, you know, this is awesome, or whichever. And I started liking, and I got excited when I had like 15 people watch my video, 5 people like it, and like a few of them here and there comment on it. So I was like, oh shit. I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I'm like, people actually like it.
I trust me, I get it. If I can get it, because you created something for yourself, right? And then you saw that it had an impact on other people, and you're like, holy crap, being me did something for somebody else. Like me just being who I was, what I wanted to do, made a difference in somebody else's life. That feels really good. Let's be honest. It feels good.
And it was something simple, nothing crazy, nothing like outlandish or whichever, because again, I was still barely starting off. You know, when I saw like 100 people like the video, I was like, oh my God, like 100 people like this video, like what the hell? Like I was excited when I started seeing followers, like I had 25 followers. I was like, this is fucking cool. Like people actually watch this, like they'll sit here and watch it. And I'll go through the timelines, like the actual FYP, and I'm watching other videos. And what started opening it up a little bit more and more for me was as far as the content to make. And it wasn't just like a be silly kind of thing. Like I can actually have serious moments, or I can have conversation moments. Was I'll see videos of people opening up, sharing their experiences. I started noticing that there was a huge, you know, veteran, like military and civil service community on it as well too. You know, there's a place where seeing certain people that if you were to see them out in public, you wouldn't expect it. But when you see them on the app, they're like, they're big ass goofball, or they like the stuff that I like, or that person is struggling the way that I'm struggling and I can relate. And you read the comments and you see what people are saying. And it's not so much as a way to seek like, oh, okay, so because they did this, I'm going to seek that attention. It's like, no, there's someone out there that's going through the same thing that I'm going through, probably a little similar, a little different, but is going through what I'm going through. And you have all these people supporting them in the middle. So I started getting more into the content when things were going on in LA. You know, I did make a full bunch of videos in there, you know, because I don't know, coming from a Leo family, you know, it's scary. You know, my mom's safety and my uncles, cousins, you know, it's their safety worried, right? You know, and so that's when I started opening up emotion. Like my emotions kind of came out a bit. But even then, with the support, people understood what was going on. They can connect onto it as well, you know. And as I started creating more content, I remember my first video that I was talking about was my you're amazing, you're wonderful, you're gonna have a great day, this kind of instance. People respond to that saying, you have no idea how bad I needed this. You know, the words that you said literally just struck it for me. And like I was literally having a rough week and came across this, and I feel so much better. So it wasn't until literally showing those 3 aspects where I started changing more in how I interacted with TikTok, where, okay, I can be serious, I can show emotion, I can, you know, just put something to have someone enjoy it. And then I can also, then I started being silly in the content where I could start to be funny, you know, doing these voiceovers, but it's the interaction and enjoyment people started getting. And little did I realize that through all of that as well, I was actually feeling better. I felt happier. You know, I started finding joy in the deste. Like, not saying that I wasn't a joyful person already as it was, but I started finding like entertainment, keeping myself occupied. Like, and I started realizing that TikTok isn't an instance where it's, you know, super political, super this or super that. It's like, no, we're literally here just to have a good time, you know? And so
there's something to be said about TikTok's algorithm.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. TikTok has its issues, right? their community guidelines are pick and choose, and for whatever reason, and I don't want to get into it, but
Yeah.
when I realized it was the same for me, right? I first got it because I had a guest on the podcast, and her name is Krista, and she's a realtor here in the Houston area, in the Texas area. And she used TikTok as a way to help people with real estate questions. She used it to promote herself as a realtor, but also more than that, she was just putting out good information that people can use.
Yeah.
And as she was doing that, her following grew and everything else. And her family, the people that went to look at her videos, and she's like, you need to get on TikTok. And I'm like, I was like, fuck no, I can get on TikTok. No, I make fun of my kids for watching TikTok videos, like, because all I saw from TikTok were teenagers doing really stupid shit on TikTok.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. No. And then she showed me that, well, look, I have 20,000 people that want to see what I say. That's a lot of people that you can get to listen to your podcast. And I'm like, okay, well, if you put it that way, and I can use it as a marketing tool for the podcast, sure. 100% honesty, man. I got on TikTok for the sole purpose of promoting the podcast. That was the sole purpose. Sole purpose was to promote the podcast. That's it. No content, no nothing. When I have an episode air, I'll put a screenshot with some music and some stickers and stuff like that, and boom, have it go, and then, hey, anybody that wants to know about the podcast, go check it out. Well, then September 20th hit, and you know what September 20th means to me is the day my depression almost won. And from that point on, I started going to therapy, and my therapist told me, yeah, you do need to talk about it. You do need to talk about this and that. And I told her, I was just like, well, what do you think about me maybe sharing my story on social media? And she was just like, if you're comfortable with it, it's probably not a bad idea, because the more you talk about it, the easier it is for you to kind of realize what you're saying and everything like that. So I was like, okay. So I started sharing my journey and trying to be better from my depression. And I made a video, and I call it the reach out video, not reach around video, the reach out video.
Shit. So funny. I made me knock the damn thing down. I will edit that part out.
Nah, leave it in. That was hilarious.
Oh, dude.
It was called the reach out. I dubbed it reach out, right? And it was just me saying, hey, look, I know what it feels like. You're not alone. We're here. You got to find the strength within yourself to reach back out. You got to start the conversation. If you want to start the conversation, I'm here. You can start the conversation with me, because I need to talk about my shit just as much as you need to talk about yours. I'm here. Well, it blew up. And it blew up so much so that I got anxiety, because people were reaching out and they were in bad spots. And I know those spots that they were in because I was in it. And I got the comments. Nobody cares. I'm just going to end it. And this and that. And 3 days straight, I did not sleep. I didn't sleep. Every free minute I was in that comment section. I did not want to miss somebody. When it hit 3,000 comments, I guarantee you 1,500 of those comments were me replying to people. Like, I could not put the freaking phone down, because I didn't want to miss somebody. I did not want to miss somebody. I felt like I had to take responsibility for the thing I put out there, and people are finally reaching out, and I don't want to be the one that they think that just to put the video out, right? No, I really do believe in helping, and I want to be there, because nobody was there. I felt like nobody was there for me. I just felt like it, right? So I know that feeling. It blew up, and that's when I started taking the podcast in the direction that it's going. Not only am I trying to kill the idea that first responders and civil service members are heroes, right? We appreciate the sentiment, but it's almost like trying to live up to something that is impossible to live up to.
Yeah.
We're human beings. We're normal people doing an abnormal job. And that, not only am I going to be doing that, but now I'm going to make mental health something that we can actually talk about open, honestly, and just like asking, hey, how did you break your arm? I should be able to ask you, hey man, why are you depressed?
Yeah.
It should be just as easy. There should not be a reason why we cannot make the conversation that casual. Because once it's that casual, then we'll be able to really start breaking down the stigma and letting people know, hey, it's okay. It's okay you broke your arm. We can fix it though. You can fix it. Let's find out the way to fix it. But you got to be
Yeah.
able to make it easy to talk about, just like it is to talk about a broken arm. It's an illness. It's an illness.
Yeah,
It sucks.
Yeah, because like you're saying this day, because people already immediately, like when you have that mental health issue in regard, and like with the PTSD instances, or just not centered in your own instance, the moment you start bringing up the instance of mental health, people are like, oh my god, they're gonna crack, or something's wrong, or something's this, or something's that. They get immediately to the instance of like jumping to conclusions about the circumstance, when it literally can just be like, it's fine, like, yes, I know, I am aware that I have this issue, or I have something that's going on, and not even so much as an issue, I have something going on with me, but it's what you do and what they do and how the people interpret it, like not to get overly like concerned, because like for instance on the military aspect, the military instance was like for a while, our people with like mental health issues and everything, there was that stigma, like if you have a mental health issue, if you have PTSD, you're broken, that's it. And then people are going to look at you one way, and they're going to be always wondering and this, and they're always going to be keeping an eye out. They're like, oh, he can't do it because of this, he can't do it because of that. Even getting documented was a huge thing. I still remember an instance where I had a break one time, and like it bugs me on this one because I had this happen in front of my mom. Still around the time frame when I got back from my first deployment, I had a break, and unfortunately, alcohol was a little bit kind of involved in it. But it was more of the break of not so much separation anxiety, but not being there for family. Because
Right.
like you said, what we do, what our jobs do, both your job and my job, or any other like civil servant or military, we sacrifice a lot, for the job that we do. Time with family, the important dates or things like that. There was an instance that happened with one of my younger brothers. And I wasn't there for him. And as an older brother, I'm my brother's keepers, and I felt like I couldn't protect him. So it was his birthday. It got to me that day. It came up, and I was home with my mom, and she saw me lose myself. And her being a Leo, she told me, "Calm down. I'm gonna put you in cuffs. Calm down. I'm gonna put you in cuffs." So I calmed down, and I told her, I'm like, "Can you take me to the hospital? I something's wrong with me. I need to see somebody." So she took me to the hospital, and the most uncomfortable feeling that I've ever been in was seeing my mom, knowing my mom was on the other side of a one-way glass, me in a maroon hospital outfit,
Hospital
in a
gown.
in a hospital gown, in a room where it was just a bed, a little camera in the corner that was fixated in the corner, and a sink. So I was being in observation, But that following day, like after, like when they released me and everything, when they released me after, my mom taking me or whatnot, I told her I need to go somewhere. I need to go to the clinic. I want to go to the VA to go talk to somebody, because there is something wrong with me that I don't feel right. But the next day when we went, that stigma still settled into my head, because I went to the clinic, tried to get an eval, and I was scared the whole way through, because my mentality was, if I go and see someone and they document this, that I'm messed up, it's in my record that I'm broken, and they're going to try to kick me out, because the military doesn't want broken people, or they're going to look at me like I'm broken the entire time. So it was always a fear, like, obviously, like I said, the stigma. Something's wrong with him. He's broken. He's no good for us anymore. So it's understandable, like, to put that out there, or talking to people, or getting it out there, and trying to be more apt to make it comfortable and normal to be able to say, hey, like, yeah, I have something going on, and people not treating it like oh my God, he's fragile, or she's fragile. regardless of the level of PTSD level. It could be from just a general civilian to military to law enforcement to the fire, whichever. Everyone's level of PTSD, the degree of it, affects their daily life to what it affects.
Well, not only that, PTSD is tied to depression. It's tied to anxiety. Like those things are they almost come hand in hand with post-traumatic stress disorder, right? Yeah. And that's post-traumatic stress disorder is basically a way of saying I have severe depression due to a traumatic experience, right? That's the post-traumatic stress disorder. That's the stress. An experience caused a disorder.
Something really something really, really, really messed me up.
Yeah. And either it messed you up to the point where that PTSD causes you to have constant depression, constant anxiety. You're always worried about something. A noise can set you off. Like that's anxiety. Like PTSD is what we call it, but what's tied to it is depression, anxiety, a feeling of numbness. I mean, there's so much other things that get tied to it. PTSD, I like to think of is the experience that caused the things that go along with it. Depression, anxiety, everything else, right? It just, we can just tie it to an experience. Hence and the PTSD.
Yeah. And the part that sucks about that instance as well is like how folks negate the levels. Because you have folks, like I said, that the differences in the PTSD level and whatnot, it's like some person can have gone through a car accident. It like doesn't have to be an extremely traumatic one, but they went through a car accident. And so them driving in a car with someone makes it uncomfortable or whatever. But that side will get pushed away, or because someone, didn't get certain things, or not certain things, but people tend to negate based off of the circumstance. It's like, just like you said with that one female, she wasn't in the military. She had her own level of PTSD, but people gave her shit because she wasn't in the military. So they're like, why do you have PTSD if you've never been to combat? Like me, on my, there was a post I put up, with the sirens. I still remember those sirens for the incoming mortars and things like that to this day, and
it's going to be a sound you'll never be able to forget.
Yeah. You'll never forget those sounds. And I had someone in the comments in particular literally give me shit about it, saying, well, you don't have a CIB or a CAB, combat infantry badge or combat action badge. So why are you complaining about having PTSD? You didn't see action. It's like, okay, just because I wasn't in a direct fight, like just because I didn't, shoot shit down the range and everything like that at somebody else and take something back down range, doesn't negate the fact that there was something that happened out there that affected me to the degree where I can't, I can't enjoy fireworks. There's certain circumstances that they negate the level of it. They say because you have to go through this is the reason why you're allowed to have PTSD. For Leos, because they've been in a foot pursuit, it's not as important as someone who's been in like a shootout with somebody else. Or for fire, just because you had to take a cat down a tree or not take go to a car accident doesn't mean that, it's not as extended as someone putting out a fire in a big ass building. There's a level of PTSD that still affects a person. And the biggest instance is trying to get people to get out of the mentality is you have PTSD, doesn't matter what level it is, the shit's still important.
One person's trauma does not negate another person's trauma.
Amen.
Period. End of story. Look, when you want to break it down to a biological level, stress is stress to your brain, right? Sure, there's severity of stress, right? There's low stress, mid-level stress, high stress. Sure. And depending on the stress level, depends on how much of that stress chemical gets released in your brain. However, your brain does not differentiate stress and how it comes into the brain. You can be stressed about bills and then being stressed about being shot at. The same chemicals are being released in your brain. Your brain doesn't know the difference. The brain only releases the amount of chemicals the stress level's on, but it doesn't know the difference between the stress.
Yeah, it's the same with
you cannot put what your level of a traumatic experience on somebody else. You can't do
It's
it. It's not fair. Not only is it not fair, it's untrue. We're all different in that.
Yeah, because like you can say it even in the case like this, like someone being yelled at. Folks can have a degree of PTSD from someone being yelled at, where it's like you have one person that, say you put two people, and I'll use basic in this kind of instance. If someone's getting yelled at in basic training, one person freaks out a little bit more than the other, but you don't know that the person that's freaked out more could have been coming up from a childhood or from a background where all it was just constant yelling, constant direct, constant this, constant that, where all the yelling was in connection to something else. So it's
Abuse.
a trigger. That trigger.
It could have been exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just, look, we can beat this into the ground until people finally realize that you are not unique in your experience with your trauma. Okay. It's unique to you. Yes. Sure, it's unique to you, but you got to remember that it's only unique to you. You cannot put what happened to you and then use it as a measuring stick to somebody else.
Exactly.
Right? You're not unique when it comes to depression, anxiety, PTSD. You have it because you have it, and for what you went through. Somebody else doesn't have to go through those same experiences to have that same diagnosis.
Exactly.
And when you're able to finally realize that, and, you know, educate yourself and stop being ignorant of the fact, you'll be able to be more receptive and more open. And the people that want to help you will be more receptive and open. And we can just kill this fucking stigma that you're not worthy of. It's almost like you're not worthy of having PTSD because you didn't go through what I went through. Both. Yeah. I'm not worthy. Fuck you. You know,
like first off, and like,
first off,
you know, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. I want to talk about your March video.
Okay.
I think that's the video that kind of really, really made you explode as of late. You put out the March video, and you dubbed it the March. And we talked the other day. You said you wish you would have put the hashtag the March. I think you can still do it. What drew you? I already know, but I want the audience to know real quick, because this video went fucking viral. Popz, it went viral, and it went viral in a good way. Yeah. Where'd you get the idea? And two, what was the reasoning behind it? And three, how the fuck did it feel when you started seeing all these people start duetting it? And then not even duetting it. Sometimes some of them were just like, you know what? I'm not even going to duet it. I'm just going to do what he did. Yeah. So where'd the idea come from?
So the idea of it initially came from a video actually that I posted previously. And the video that I posted previously is when I got moved into my place here in Jersey. I was doing a lip sync to a guy who's on TikTok as well. He goes by AJ Impacts, he's by far like one of my favorite, you know, motivational speakers on social media. And he's a Marine vet as well too himself, but he goes around talking about, you know, PTSD awareness and talking about how to pick yourself back up and things like that, how to keep moving forward, you know. And I lip synced a video of his, which kind of took off because it was one of those, you know, it's like you feel like you're down and out, you know, call somebody. And if they don't answer, you keep calling until somebody answers the call. You wouldn't be in a firefight overseas and only call once. You keep calling.
You learn in your training that when the shit hits the fan, you call. And if that person doesn't answer, you call again and you call somebody else until somebody picks up. We will be there for you. I know that audio. I know it.
Yeah. I pay huge homage to him because I have huge respect for that guy. And like I said, on TikTok, he goes by AJ Impacts. But
you're going to need to get me in contact with him because I think he'd be great for the show as well.
Oh, no, anyway. Definitely, brother. Definitely. But, so using that, like the mentality for that, when I posted the video, it just something, it came into measure. It came into mind, you know, because I've already been starting to post like some inspirational things like that. But the March itself started, like, I woke up one morning and I just kind of had like an overwhelming feeling. And it was a rough kind of instance because I was already getting flack from people. I had been getting, some things from people, obviously, because being like active duty military or AGR from the reserves and everything, people look at my style and they look at me and they're like, well, how the hell are you a service member with long hair or piercings and this and that? Or did you even really serve or this and that, whatever? And I'm like, you know what? We're not going to do this. So at that point, I started getting into doing my OC work, which my first one was Ricker, which is that one of the black tank talk, just the fang set, the swooped over hair, and just kind of the manic kind of look and whatnot, which each of my OCs are representation of my personal personality, of my true personality.
Right.
Manic.
Explain what OC means for the audience real quick.
Okay, so OC goes by original creator or created, or original cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
So, or primarily it's original created cosplay, because it'll be OC cosplay. And so that OC Riker was my personal rendition of the manic side of myself, the ADHD version of me, if I have it or whatnot. But that part of me where I can't focus, I'm squirreled all over the place and everything. But the mania side of me where I feel like my brain is kind of like, it'd be the Joker persona, just without the murderous portion of it. Basically, that's what Riker is. Riker is my version of Joker for me, just without the murderous intent, But it's just all over the place. And Vyrix comes in where he's that person of that point of contention where I lost entire control, where I have no, my hands speak volumes. People look at my hands, they'll ask me what happened. I'm like, there's just a lot of aggression that I used to have. And Vyrix is that. Vyrix is that part where I can't control anything, where I completely lose. And he's the one with the white tank top, the blood looking kind of instance of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the beast within, because I have it where Riker is, we're all mad here. Vyrix's tag would be the beast within. Orion is the bodyguard, the protector side of me, the part that sticks up and stands up for the people I care about, or for people that are in trouble or whichever, And then Ezra is the well-groomed suit, that suave debonair gentleman, the dapper cat. But all of them, if I tell people and everything that all of them are a direct reflection of me, that's why there's no huge change in their appearance, because I want folks to understand it's me, it's still me. But yes, this is just a version of me that you see.
Mm-hmm.
So with all the flack that I was getting from, my OCs and things like that, I decided to, show, just because I have long hair, just because I have piercings or whichever, or I grow my beard out or whatnot, doesn't mean I don't serve my country in the way I serve. It doesn't mean that you can't take away from what I look like just in my personal time and not see who I am as well. There's layers, just like taking it from Shrek. I'm an onion. There are layers
Mm-hmm.
of who I am, but that's the reason why too, because if you notice in the start of the video, I start off in the background and make the approach looking like one way. But then as the video progresses, the layers start coming off and the true layer starts coming in, and the instance was basically to show that, hey, I may look like this in my own personal life, but this is me. This is who I am as well. We all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different circumstances of life, but for service members and civil service society and everything, don't take what I look like here from over here and take away from who I am really, And as the video started progressing, that one, like I said, that video took me 4 hours to make. It took me 4 hours to make that video. A minute took me 4 hours. And because there were parts of it making sure things were set appropriately, heading right, but there have been times where I needed to take a break. I needed to take a minute because there was an emotional draw in it. I'm not sure if you noticed in the video too, my eyes are a little red because I had to
especially towards the end when you're carrying the flag, that you can see it. You can see it.
Yeah, because there was a lot of an emotional draw into making the clip because of what it meant to me. And as I was making it, it started hitting me more and more. It's like how important this was to me. Of all the videos that I've made, that is by far one of the most important ones that I've made. because it wasn't a video that I made for myself. It wasn't one that I'm going to make a video just for shits and giggles. It was, I am making this video for my brothers and sisters in arms, for the ones that are currently serving, the ones who have prior served, and the ones who have passed. I'm making this for my brothers and sisters in the civil services side, because I love and care for them so much, and that I want them to understand that regardless of what uniform that I wear, we all march together, And when I posted it, I'll be honest, like I had to take a cool minute. I had to take a cool minute after the video. I literally just sat down in my chair and just didn't move, didn't do nothing, because I was surprisingly emotionally drained from it, and because of what the meaning was for me, what it was, who it was for, brought up a lot of everything from, it made me relook at the 14 years that I've been in the service and see everything that came of it and everyone that was involved and who I am today as a serviceman, And when I posted it, I didn't think much of it. Like after I posted it, I didn't think much of it. I'm like, I made a video for my brothers and sisters, and I posted this on September 10th of last year, and I didn't think much of it. The next morning, I woke up and there were like 10,000 views. Like I had like 5,000 comments, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Because I had literally just done a live the night before and I was sitting at 50,000 followers. And like literally the following week after it, I had grown like 150 followers within that week. 150,000 followers, within that week. And it was literally like, super overwhelming. Like I was like, what the hell just happened? Like I wasn't completely not expecting for it to happen, because it was just something I was putting out, but just the comments that came from it, it's like, it was nothing politically oriented. It was nothing that was supposed to show sides for one side or another. It was literally a march specifically saying like, hey, my brothers and my sisters, I know my call and I'll always stand for it. And I march with you guys. So
like, no matter your background.
No matter your background. We're here. And what I liked about the video that I posted, when I posted the march, it was the interpretations that other folks had with it. A lot of them saying, a lot of the comments in the video for the video were, this video hit at the right time. Considering what the hell we've been going through as a country, this literally is the epitome of us all standing together and coming together as one. And thank you for showing this and this and that, whatever. Obviously with that kind of instance, you'll get those folks that'll throw in their 2 cents and saying, oh, you're pro this or pro that. It's like, no, you guys are misinterpreting the whole intent of it. The whole intent of this video is to show that we march together as a country, regardless of whatever background we have, because then I would start having civilian folks just duetting the video themselves. They're like, I'm not military, I'm not civil services, but I have love and respect and I will gladly march next to you. Thank you for doing this. And so that's when I brought in the spectrum about it. And it's like, this march is not just for us, it's for everybody, because it's a march of us showing, our faith in ourselves and our countries and each other and everything, that, no matter how hard times get, that we still stand side by side with one another.
It's a march for unity.
And that's what it was. Yeah. It was a march.
It's a march for unity. That's what it is. You created something that people can be a part of. All of us are this one thing.
Yeah. And
bigger
the crazy,
us.
Yeah. And because it is, there are a lot of things that are bigger than us in this kind of instances, The part that started tripping me out a little bit more is because in the instance of the video growing, because it was growing and growing and growing. And even to this day, I still get people sending me messages about the video, duetting the video, saying that they've been looking for this and they're glad they found it. But that video had hit an international platform. So I've had folks from Australia, from New Zealand, from the UK, from Russia, from Korea, from freaking just all different countries and everything. Places from all different places, South Africa, soldiers, service members, and them on those countries saying, we're not from your country, but we love what you did here, or even duetting the video themselves in their way for their for support of their, for what they do.
Again, Popz, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying when I say unity. You created a march for human. You created a march for all of us to realize we are human. We're brothers and sisters on this crazy fucking planet we're living on now.
Yeah.
You created something that brought people together to show that we're more than the chaos. We're more than the bullshit that's going on right now. You created something to show the world, literally, that we can be and we are more than what people see on the outside.
Yeah.
That's huge, man. And I can tell you, when I saw that video and when I knew immediately I wanted to duet it. I knew immediately because it struck a chord. It hit something with me. I got it. I was just like, he's showing that no matter who you are and who you are in the background, we can be a part of something together, something bigger than ourselves. And it doesn't matter what our background is. It doesn't matter who we are and what we're into or what our personal likes and dislikes are. All of that shit doesn't matter, because at the end, when we're marching together, we're all marching for that one thing. And that's what I got from it. And then when I duetted it, I did the fire. Dude, you said it took you 4 hours to do 60 seconds. When I duetted that video, it took me an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get it done.
Yeah.
So I'm very big into Viking culture, and I do OC with Viking stuff. Me and my wife are very much into Viking and
the Norse pagan
lifestyle part. We go to Viking festivals. We go to the Texas Renaissance Festival here, and it's just something that's become very, very passionate about, especially since I found out I actually have Norse lineage.
Yeah.
Thank you, 23andMe and Ancestry. So it struck a chord. And so when I did mine, I mean, I'm wearing like a leather kilt I made myself with the skulls all around it. I made this leather arm guard and everything, and I had the skull mask on and everything. And that's how I started mine, because for me, that's another part of me. Like, it's this warrior ready to fight, scary looking, but then I get into it, and then I change with just no shirt on, hat on, and then I plain black shirt, right? I can't wear my, I wanted to wear my fire department shirt, but I couldn't wear my fire department t-shirt, but just a t-shirt, the hat on, and then the last one is me in my class B, the blue shirt with the badge. Right. Yeah. And it took me a while to really, like, man, what you created, just it struck a chord with people, and it made me feel like this guy gets it. And I appreciate that, and what you did and what you're continuing to do.
Yeah.
Your content now, a lot of it is having you and your new relationship that is growing and blossoming with Ellie, and God love her. God love you both, because seriously, seeing that kind of happiness and seeing that it's possible is another type of inspiration for people. People that are looking for something like that. I want people to know that it's not something that you should be searching for because you feel like you need it. That's not a need. You shouldn't look for somebody because you feel like you need somebody. You should be looking for somebody that helps you grow in that happiness. And you can see that you guys are doing that for each other in the videos you guys are doing. You can see the true support and love you have for each other. And you guys sharing that with people is really cool too, because you guys are, you're turning your, man, how do I say this? You too have found a way to help people in another aspect of life.
Yeah.
You found a way to grow how you're affecting people. Not only are you now being an advocate for mental health and everything, but you're also now being an advocate for healthy relationships. You found another way to do that. You both did. And it's really cool because not a lot of people can share that stuff. You know, I'm just waiting for after the first fight video. I'm waiting for all those things, because I have a feeling that you guys, even if you did have your quote unquote first fight or argument or whatever, you guys are going to sit down, you guys are going to work it out, and you're going to be like, you know what, maybe we should share this so people know that it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Like, I have a feeling that video is going to come out from YouTube, because that's just the kind of people you are.
Yeah.
And it's real, it's raw, it's emotional, and you are making a difference. But now that you have this person in your life that supports you and you support her, you guys are making a difference in another realm. And just know, Popz, you're making a difference in this world, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
As small of a footprint as it is, as large as a footprint as it is, it doesn't matter. You're making a fucking difference. You're helping people. You're saving lives. You're getting people to start conversations with themselves. You are showing them that they're not alone. You are saving people's lives by sharing who you are. You found a way to be who you are as a human being.
Yeah.
You found a way. You found who you were. You found that you accepted the parts of you that were broken. And then you found the strength to share that.
Yeah.
To fight the stigma. You create things for you. You don't create things in hopes that it helps somebody. You create things for you because it helps you, and you know that somewhere it's going to touch somebody.
Yeah.
You found a way to be who you are and make a difference in the world. That's huge. It's very rare that you find people that can allow themselves to just be who they are, raw, 100% raw, and just share it, and it helps people. Sure, there's a bunch of people out there that create personas that are acting, and they do help people, but that's not really who they are, right?
Yeah.
We always hear about the comedians that committed suicide, and you're like, whoa, they did what? Well, had they been open and honest 100% all the time, maybe we'll never know, but maybe that could have helped them in their journey, in their fight. But it's rare when you find somebody that can just be them. Like on the podcast now, you're not giving me anything different than what you give on your social media. You're not giving me anything different.
Right.
Sure, you might focus on a certain aspect on your videos, right? Sure. But you're not giving me anything different. You're not acting more or less than. You're just being you.
Yeah. And then too, and when it comes to it, as far as, so like also too, like when I create the content, where the focus of the content usually sits at is, I guess you can say, in the mentality, in the state, the mental state that I'm in. If there's more Riker, you can tell I'm still scattered. If Virix comes out, there's a part of me that's struggling with something. Ezra comes out, there's that emphasis that he's doing. Or when Orion comes out, or if it's the clash of the two, like if the blend of the two OCs, or even because I'll include myself with just the general OCs themselves. there's a clash currently going on, you know. But it's
you're giving the demons in your head a voice.
And that's actually one of the things I was gonna say about that, because like when I started putting those kind of instances, or giving my OCs, like giving my demons a name and a face, it's helped me cope a little bit. It's actually helped me cope a lot more when I can actually see what I'm dealing with. Because people have this biggest instance, the fear of the unknown. You know, they're afraid of what they don't know. If then in their head, they got things that are going on, but they don't know exactly what it is, or they don't know what it could be, or what it might be, or whichever. And it was the same for me. You know, I didn't understand why I was so manic at times. I didn't understand why I would go from calm to raging from time to time. I didn't know why I was so overprotective, or why I was so like, I didn't care. Like I was just so like, nonchalant, you know. But the moment I started putting a face to that emotion, I started processing better. It gets them out of my head. Like an old technique that one of the old no technique that I learned, or whichever, was when you have a point where you're starting to feel overwhelmed, get a notepad and just write it down. Write every single raw, like pure raw thought in your head, you know, on a piece of paper, and take as many pages as you need. And then once you do that, you look at it, you read it over, and then you take it and you throw it in the trash. Either throw it in the trash. Actually, no, it wasn't throw it in the trash. You either shred it or you burn it. Because if you throw it away, you can always go back and grab it.
That's very Norse pagan of you to burn it.
Yeah. You can see, and that's the thing. It's like, because all you're doing is you're taking all those mental thoughts, all that negativity in your mind, and you're doing away with it in the best way you can. You know, don't throw those emotions away, because what happens is what can you do with trash? You can literally go back and grab it and pull it out. So that's why you shred those thoughts or you burn them, because you don't need them. You know,
well, the way you're explaining it is, like, when you write it down, that's you processing. That's you allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling, right? Mm-hmm. You're allowing those feelings to come out. That's processing those feelings. Because if you just keep them in, you never let them out. That's when it kills you, literally. Yeah. But you writing it out is you processing your feelings. It's you allowing yourself to feel, saying it's okay to feel this. Let me let it out.
Yeah.
Let me evaluate it. That's you going back and reading it. You evaluate those feelings and you're like, okay, all right, I allowed it to be what it was. I can let go of it now. I do something similar, except for me, I can't do the writing thing. I used to do the writing thing, like where I write, but man, I don't know if it's my ADHD or what, but I think too fast for my writing. Like I want to say stuff so fast that my hand, like, I don't even think I can please myself quick enough as fast as I think.
Oh shit.
He got it. Oh, I was wondering to see. I was going to see if you're going to get it. I was going to see if you're going to get it. Yeah.
But like no, man.
But for me, what I do,
like, cramp.
God damn it, cramp. No, what I do is whenever I start feeling that emotion or that kind of a feeling, is I'll actually videotape myself. I'll videotape myself and I'll have a conversation with my emotion. I let it all out, screaming, yelling, crying, whatever. I record myself, and however long it needs to take, when I finally feel like it's all out, what I'll do is stop it, go back and watch it immediately. I go back and watch myself. And the reason why I like to video is because then I can see more than the words. I can hear the inflections of the words. I can hear the emotion. I can see it on my face. I can look at my body language. How tensed up am I? How pumped up am I? How slumped am I? The words that are coming out, I'm literally watching my emotion come out. Mm-hmm. And I can evaluate it. And I can be like, well, why am I saying that? Why did I say it like that? Why do I feel like that? Like, what I just said is actually kind of a good thing. Why am I sad about it? Like, I can actually evaluate it, right? But once I'm done evaluating it, I delete it. Gone.
Yeah, and that's good, because it's like and that's actually it was gonna take me back to like something I mentioned about how you were talking about during the recording portion. When because that's actually a good one that I can actually, if it's fine with you, I'll probably start telling folks to do that as well too. Like if they start getting in their head, record themselves. But like the technique, like what I would used to use would be the writing part. And I tell folks, write it out, don't type. And the reason why is you can type out anything. You can type out a message in particular, like my letters that I write to people that I'm responding back to people and everything. I would rather write them out as opposed to type it, because you can tell the emotion of the person off of their writing style. You can see if the person's angst. You can tell if the person's upset. You can tell if the person's happy based off of the style of their writing, because either the writing will bunch up, the writing will italicize, the writing will block out. Just the style of it, you can tell and read what the person's feeling and interpret it because of the style it's being written. So like when you're writing and your thoughts you can't process your thoughts quick enough, or you're processing thoughts too quickly, more quicker than you can write. If you see that and you see like a scratch or scribble or whichever, you can tell, okay, the person's a little under stress. You know, you can tell they're going through their head a lot more, even if like you skip words or things like that. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's why for me, like with the writing technique that I would use, I can understand like, okay, I'm really, really on something, because I have a tendency of I write italicized, cursive italicized. But when I'm getting real direct in my conversation, somehow my writing will change to block in the midst of a sentence, or it'll bunch up real quick. or it'll go straight up as opposed to italicized, like normal writing, you know, and you can tell the emotion of a person based off of their handwriting, which is crazy, but it works.
But
And
it
so when
allows you to evaluate it.
Mhm. It allows you to see what things are stressing you, because like you'll write it a certain way on a certain area where it's super stressed, or you can write where it's calm. You know,
Right.
think of it like like an EKG or something like, or not like EKG, but EKG, but a freaking the seismometers for like when they're detecting earthquakes.
Yep.
I think that's
Yeah,
what it's
yeah,
called.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the same
like,
thing with an EKG. Is it? No, you
Yeah.
were on it. You were on point with
Yeah.
EKG. When somebody starts getting stressed out, you start seeing the beats change, and then
Yeah.
they get calm. And yeah, it's the same thing. Absolutely.
So the handwriting is another way you can interpret it. Like is a way you can interpret it. But I like that video idea because you're right. You can see the raw emotion of the person. You know, I was thinking about it when you were talking about it. I was thinking, hell, like if ever was a day I was kind of feeling off, I can literally just throw on an OC look and talk normal to myself off camera and talk to myself as my OC. You know what I mean?
That's basically like what I do.
Yeah.
It just helps me. I'm going to start winding it down, brother.
Yeah.
We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, bro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. No, it's good. Again, there's no time limit on any of my shows. I mean, shit, if we went for 3 hours, we'd go for 3 hours. I don't fucking care. But
yeah,
I know we have other stuff to do today. I'll have you back on the show later on for sure. First, I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for being open.
Yeah.
Thank you for being truthful and honest in your opinion. And again, thank you for allowing me to get to know you, brother. I think that we're going to grow a damn good friendship out of this. It sucks when I meet all these people that are just fucking amazing people. You know, like I met LJ. Me and him have grown this weird bromance where we constantly rag on each other all the time. Me and Fiegel have grown a really good friendship, and I've grown all these great friendships, but everybody lives so fucking far away. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But it's crazy though. That's the one thing I will say, like, I love about this whole platform thing is we've literally made amazing connections with folks that are hundreds or tens of hundreds of literally thousands of miles away. And the friendships that we've made with these folks or with each other, as if we saw each other at the bar, just became cool, or saw each other at the gym, became cool, or just
hung out.
Cool.
I mean, like, we can just freaking hang out. Like, we can just all hang out on Zoom right now and just talk, have a drink, and bullshit the whole time. It'd be like us sitting at a bar or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy the connections we make. And I'm so grateful that you were open to do that with me. Granted, it took me hounding you and stalking you like some weirdo, but you know, whatever.
It's like that song's like, sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me. Got no
don't get me, hey, dude, don't get me started on MJ, bro. Look,
oh, dude,
that dude was a weird dude, but his music, woo.
Hey, connected, man.
Connected. Anyway, again, thank you. And I look forward to this relationship growing. I would look forward to us working together in collaboration with stuff with what I talked to you about on Friday. And everybody listening, stand by. We have some ideas coming up. I didn't even get into how you got into Popz and how that became your tag. But again, that can wait later. But where do you want your content to go from here? And then where can people find you?
On like different platforms or whichever?
Yeah, no, I don't want them going to your house. Well, I mean, shit. Yeah, don't. Come on, man. Like, seriously?
They can if you want, screen on their hands.
If you want them to know where you live, I highly recommend against it. But I mean, that's up to you. No, I mean, like, yes, on your social media platform, bro.
Gotcha. Okay. No, so my bad. Okay. So as far as I guess I think what it is I started thinking of where I wanted to go, and then when you said that part, I'm like, my brain's still right here. Wait a minute. No. As far as where I want my content to go, like honestly, I still want it to be something where people could continue to connect with it. You know, they could spread it across the word to people who need to see it, need to hear it, whether it's a laugh, whether if it's a heart to heart that they need to have, or whether just for general enjoyment, you know. Definitely for sure want it to go so people that are dealing with things with PTSD issues and everything can take it and take it to the soul as far as what they need and give them the spark to remember that, you know, they're not alone, you know. I definitely would like to probably look into starting something up in regards to assisting folks with PTSD awareness, for, you know, civil services and for military services as well too, because it's a fight that, you know, we bring awareness to it all the time. Cool, that's fine, but it's what we do to actually make the change to make it not happen anymore is what counts. You know, it's the efforts to make it stop, and, you know, trying to help the people as opposed to being like, you know, yes, 22 push-ups is awesome and great, but what are you actually doing to help? You know, you can continue to bring awareness. That's perfectly fine. If that's all you can do, that's all you can do. That's fine. You know, but making the efforts to do something to help, whether seeking, you know, assistance or try to, you know, volunteer or help out at a place where they do provide services for that, you know, is amazing. Doing something to kind of help to stop as opposed to just always say like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. It's like, okay, what are you doing to make it not happen no more? You know? And I'm not putting down anybody that does, because that's perfectly fine. People who need to continue to bring awareness. And so that's what I want to do, is bring awareness, but also bring support to bringing that, you know, suicides for service members and civil services and everything like that down to an absolute none. You know, even for the civilian side, you know, it's not guaranteed it's going to happen, but at least diminish the amount of, you know, individuals that do make those attempts. Obviously, again, like I said, continue to make content that helps inspire people to be themselves and be open, you know, not be fearful of stigmas or things like that. Feel like they can connect with others, you know, be expressive and be, you know, like they don't have to be a certain way to be another way, you know. And then also to just unite and be a family, be a community. I mean, with the way things have been going during in society, just in general, we've forgotten how to be a family. We forgot how to be a community, be a tribe, you know.
Yeah.
And people need to remember, like, we can have our differences. That's perfectly fine. You can not agree with this person here. You can not agree with that person there. But at the end of the day, be together, be one, be a brother or sister. You fight with your siblings all the time. For those who have siblings, you fight with your parents for all the time. For those who, you know, who go through that, you fight with your friends all the time. But at the end of the day, you guys are still friends. You guys are still siblings. You guys are still, you know, children to their parents, you know. And it's just bringing people back to the center, you know. And like I coined the movie I coined a movie, The Guardians, where they have all the seasons and they're, you know, people that represent them. Santa Claus will always be a Russian tatted up big stocky stocky guy, because the way they interpreted him in that damn movie. But he said he says that find your center. What makes you you? And that's what I want to try to do, is I want to help people or inspire people to find out who they are and what makes them them, you know.
Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And look,
yeah.
I'm not a mental health expert, and that's
Yeah.
why I want to help them go get help from mental health experts. And I already invited you to be a part of that. And like I said, everybody listening, stand by. I think you guys are going to be really happy with the possibilities of you actually being able to see Popz live and in person. There's a possibility of that happening. So stand by. I'm going to ask you 3 questions to close this out, man.
Okay. But before you ask, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Definitely want to say thank you for everything that you've done. You know, you've been, as a, you know, first responder and as a person who's been on the front line as far as the home side of things and taking care of the people you've had to take care of and battling the battles that you've had to battle, man. You, just like I always say, you are a light that shines in so many people's tunnel, you know, where they don't know whether they're going to make it, or whether they know that they have someone that they love or care for that's not going to make it. You've been there to remind them that it is possible and it is going to happen. And even through dark times, you brought a light to someone to remind them that even though you go through the times that you're going through, and even though you may be struggling, there's always a way to seek help, and there's always someone there to remind you that you're not alone. And especially with the organization that you started and what your mission is, it is truly commendable, man. And I have a high regard and respect for you for it. And thank you for everything that you do. You know.
God damn it. I hate you. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. And thank you for having me here too. You know?
I'm not good at compliments, bro. Fuck. I'm gonna do like I do in my lives. Oh, babe, thanks.
Got you sweet on your stuckums.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, man. I'm trying. And I'm not gonna stop trying. So
that's good. The efforts made,
that's
the
what
efforts
it is.
made are better than the efforts not.
That's true. The only way to fail is to not even try at all. So
fail to succeed, brother.
Thank you.
Fail to succeed.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Look, even if I fail in a part of it, it's not going to stop me from going to it. I'm just going to use whatever that part I failed on, learn from it, and then conquer it when I come back at it. Like,
there you go.
That's what I'm going to do. God damn it, dude. I'm all like emotional and shit now. And...
No te agüite.
Oh, pobrecito.
No llores.
Pobrecito. Mijito. Yeah, don't get that, man. My grandma, oh, mijito, pobrecito.
My Nina, she does that too.
Oh my God, grandma, I'm fine. I just stubbed my toe. No. Let me get the Sprite and the lime and
Sprite. Oh,
let me get the Sprite and the lime and
it's like,
I'm gonna put the egg underneath your bed, grandma. It's a stub toe. It's an evil being. No,
pura Vicks, pura Vicks, say Sprite.
the Vicks, the Vicks, the Sprite. The fucking... Oh my God. Anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, we're talking about old
Sana colita rana.
There he goes. Yes.
Oh,
yes. Oh my God. Yes, dude. Sanas. Oh my God. The fact that you brought that up. Everybody that's listening, these are Mexican or Hispanic. It's just the way we kind of ward off evil spirits or bad things that happen to us. Mm-hmm. Sprite takes care of everything. Doesn't matter what you have.
Lemons clean cuts. So if you got a cut, yeah,
I don't recommend putting a lemon on it. Don't douse yourself with mustard if you have a burn. Do not rub yourself with alcohol if you have a fever. All those things are bad things. These are just home, quote unquote, home remedies that people thought worked. They don't. But
I don't know. They've been working for me.
we grew up with all that stuff. I mean, like if you had an itch under your arm or Vicks everywhere, Vicks, like
everywhere, Vicks, pretty much.
I mean, Vicks on your feet, put socks on, you'll wake up feeling right as rain. I don't know why, but you will.
And it's always Sprite. It's Sprite or 7-Up.
Sprite or 7-Up. Yep. No matter what. Yeah. I mean, no matter what your stomach hurts. I mean, you have a snip, Sprite. I don't know why, but it works. It's just like the Greeks with the Windex. What was that movie? My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where the dad sprays Windex on everything. Like, you have a pimple, put some Windex on it. It's similar. It's similar to shit like that. But anyway,
pretty much.
3 questions, bro. God, Lee, we keep going. We keep doing that. Keep going.
My bad, man. I think it's like
no.
The
it was so
one.
freaking hilarious. You brought up Sunnups. I was like, oh my God, here he goes.
Damn.
I usually end the show with 3 questions. God, this is like the 4th time I said that. First question for you. We're on Popz podcast. We're gonna call it the Hunt for the Good podcast, right?
Mm-hmm. Hunt the good stuff.
Hunt the Good Stuff podcast. There we go. Thank you. Hunt the Good Stuff podcast. Popz, you're the host, but you're interviewing Popz. What's the one question you would have asked yourself and or piece of information you would have liked to share that we may have not hit on?
The biggest question, and that I would have asked is, what took you fucking so long?
Answer it.
And it's honestly, that part was a lot of self-doubt in the beginning. A lot of self-doubt that what I do, that I was something, that I was small and small and insignificant. But I thank God that this did happen, because not only have apparently I've made a huge impact in the lives of others, but everyone that I've become to interact with on TikTok has saved my life too. You know, it helped me, being here has helped me open up to things that I didn't know I was still battling with, and helped me find a community and build a family that support me, you know, along with just my general family, of course, you know, but has helped me support my family, support myself. And so, you know that I am not alone in every facet of struggle that I've been dealing with in my life, from my extreme lows to my extreme highs. And I'm grateful every single day that I can, not even, like I said, not even so much as me make an impact in their lives, but the fact that everybody has made an impact, whether it's person we mutually look at each other's content, or I'm just paying attention to someone else's content. But something that they have done has impacted my life and makes me so much happier as an individual, you know. And like I said, I thank God every single day for it. It helped me find my center, you know, help me find my center. It's helped me find my missing piece. And it's amazing that I have her in my life as well too, you know.
She's sitting in the room with you?
No, she's in the other room, but
she's in the other room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's helped me find my missing piece. You know,
it's crazy the time we live in and what sharing ourselves can mean to not only ourselves, but to other people. I say it all the time when I'm on my live, and especially when I get a little bit deep, is I tell the family I've created, or that I didn't create, but the family that has been created through this social media platform, that they literally every day help me stay alive, feel alive. They've helped me find a purpose for myself. And I don't know how to thank them. I don't know how to thank them except by just saying thank you. And it's, yeah, I get it. I get it. My second to last question for you, fairly simple. Do you have any questions for me? I'm going to preface this by saying, with all due respect, Popz, if you ask me a question I can't answer, I'm going to say, fuck that question. Go ahead and ask me another one.
Yeah.
I said with all due respect. So,
yeah,
so,
it's like you can't say with all but you still can't say it, but I said it with all due respect.
Yeah, I said with all due respect.
I was going to say, please tell me you know what movie I'm quoting.
Yes, of course.
There you go. Oh, Dale.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Damn it, Ricky Bobby.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the question that I have for you in regards to it is, what major and minor impact in your life and others has this influence had on you?
Has what influence had on me? Like,
just doing this all in general.
Like the foundation, the podcast, So I can start with the major one. The major one that has pushed me to be doing what I'm doing now and has pushed me on this mission for the foundation was what happened on September 20th, 2020. It was a Sunday. My depression almost won. And it almost won in a fashion that would have caused so much pain to not only myself, but to the people that were around me. So that has been my major, that would be the major thing that has pushed me to continue doing this and pushing the idea and making it to where if I can help another brother or sister not get to the place where I got, then I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Minor. I like making content. I like being goofy. I like sharing. I like doing duets. Growing up, I was very artistic. I was in theater. I wanted to be an actor before I was ever a firefighter. I was a model. That's how I met my wife. We were modeling.
Fun fact, I did theater in elementary school. I was a Red King in the Nutcracker, and I was Pugo Peabody and Bye Bye Birdie my senior year of high school. And I did this mall model search when I was 19 and almost picked up a year contract. So I'm with you. We're right there along the lines of...
No, yeah. We're almost right along the line. No, I'm serious. I was with a modeling agency. I did modeling in New York. I was asked to audition for All My Children and Days of Our Lives.
Let me see your blue steel.
No. When I was growing up, that movie came out. When I was growing up, that movie came out. It was, I just started my modeling shit. I was like 17, 18 years at the time. And like fucking everybody, man, because they knew I was modeling and actually doing it for work. They'd be like, what's your blue steel? What's your blue steel? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
It's okay. Napoleon Dynamite came out when I was running for senior class president in the high school.
Vote for Pedro.
And I ended up winning Homecoming King because of that damn movie. I actually have a Vote for Pedro shirt.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, but the minor thing is I love doing it for me, the content and stuff. Some of the fun stuff I like doing for me because I've always been creative. I've always loved doing that kind of stuff. And that would be the minor thing that kind of keeps me going with it. But the major thing I think is more the push behind everything. Like I started the podcast way prior to where I knew exactly how the podcast was going to go and what the focus was going to be on. But it's turned into something so much more. You already know, 4 weeks ago, I had an idea. It's real now. It's like an actual real thing. I'm so still flabbergasted with it all.
Well deserved though, brother. Well deserved though.
I appreciate it. And I've been saying this. It's yes, I'll take credit for having the idea, but it's no longer mine. It's everybody that's involved. It's the What Makes Us Fire family. It's yours for helping me push that. It's everybody that believes in the mission. It's no longer my idea. It is something that is only going to grow when people believe in it, right? And once they believe in it, it's no longer, it's not mine. It's ours. It's all of ours. But yeah, that's it. That's a good question, bro. I appreciate that. I never really thought about what the cause was really to keep it going. I kind of knew, but it like really sitting back, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. I mean, that's the main driving force. Not to mention another, I would say, moderate part, if we're going to break it down into levels, the moderate part is meeting some pretty fucking amazing people like yourself and meeting people that are willing to share and support and everything. So I appreciate that. My last question to you, you're on the show, What Makes Us Fire? Obviously, it's because I'm a firefighter, but really it's more of like a what makes us a civil service type essence. What makes us, what is it that you think makes people decide to do something civil service that literally is a sacrifice of themselves, be it time, money, mental health effort for other people? What makes you somebody, or what makes us people that decide to sacrifice of ourselves for others?
My personal opinion in regards to that, it's the call to do more than what they want for themselves. You know, you can have that instance of like, I'm trying to do this for me, I'm trying to do this for me, but ultimately at the end, it's not, you don't want to do it for you at the end of the day. You have something to give, you have something to share, and you want to be able to support those. You find it as that protective side. You find it as in the instance of caring, the nurturing side. There's always a particular aspect of it. And it's a calling that, not saying, you know, no, not a lot of people have it, but far there, it's a few people, well, not few people per se, but like, it's a certain calling to certain folks. You know, everyone can have that aspect where they want to join, they want to do it and they want to attempt it as well, but something, their path doesn't have them crossing that road, you know, which is fine, because everyone's path is meant for a certain way, certain thing. But there's a reason why we are on the path that we're on, because of the influence and the reach and the care that we can provide to others. You know, not taking away from anybody else, because everyone else can still provide an influence and care. But there's something about us where the universe speaks is, this is the path you're meant to walk. So there's also probably something within your life that you need to learn for yourself to find out who you are for you. You know, just like how the path that I chose, I wanted to be a firefighter, but my path wasn't meant to be for me to be a firefighter. It was meant to be a soldier in the United States Army. And 14 years later, I see what my path is meant for me to do, who I was supposed to meet, the people I was supposed to interact with, the family I was supposed to develop. Same thing with you. Your path was meant to be a firefighter, and look at the family and what you've actually established and built. The calling comes in different ways. You know, it's how we see the calling and how we begin to interpret it, and the path that we walk down to make it happen.
And I understand that and I get that. But what boggles my mind is that, like, you know, being in the military, being in the civil service, we're all just as different as the general population. Mm-hmm. Christians, Catholic, Muslims, Buddhists, whatever, white, black, green, yellow, Asian, doesn't matter. Gay, straight, bi, trans, doesn't matter. All, you know, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, don't give a fuck, whatever. All of those. Yeah. Yeah. DC, Marvel, all these different personalities and moral backgrounds and where they believe come from all these different backgrounds, yet they all decided to do this job. And then within the job, even though all of us are different, it doesn't fucking matter, because we're willing to die for each other right then and there, even if their lifestyle doesn't necessarily match up with what we've grown up to believe and what we believe on the outside. We still found this thing, this calling, this whatever. And I can't find the commonality between all of us that made us decide to do this. Like, what was it? What is it? We're literally helping people on a day-to-day basis that do not fall in line with any of our moral beliefs. As a matter of fact, outside the job, I might not ever want to talk to this person, but when I have that uniform on, or when I see them and they're in trouble, I'm going to risk my life for them. Even though I know 110% they would never do the same for me, I'm still going to do it for them.
Yeah.
So where did that come from?
Probably from that other part of us where that right there is probably going to be the answer we find out later on down the years, man. And once that answer comes to fruition, it's literally going to solidify what we do know. You know, it's, call it the universe, call it belief, faith, whichever you may call it. But we're family, we recognize family. And that's what it is. You know, we see each other as family. And we understand what we're meant. We understand what we're doing as far as in our organizations. But regardless of, like I said, whether it be military, fired, Leo, medical, we see each other for what we are there and on the outside. And we understand. Because like with your family, you would die for your family, right? I would die for my family. We've all become family regardless of what uniform we wear. And we will die for every single one of each other. And I think that right there is the commonality, is because we know we're family through and through, regardless of meeting each other, knowing each other, and whatever. We know we're family. You know, and we've established that.
I think it's coming to the realization that no matter what you believe and what your background is that you're a human being. And because you're a human being, you're worthy. Because you're alive, you're worthy. And in my eyes, you're worthy of not feeling pain. You're worthy of being happy. You're worthy of feeling valued.
Exactly.
That's it for me. But again, I don't know how me having my background, I came to that. You having your background, you came to that. Somebody having, I don't know what it is that with all these different backgrounds and way we were brought up, that we all found that. That to me is like, what is it? I have no idea.
Maybe it's one of those things, and maybe it's one of those things in the universe that we're not meant to know, but just understand. You know what I mean? Because we want to know the answers to everything, and we want to know the reasons to everything. Maybe it's just one of those things where it's that little hidey secret that we're not supposed to know, but just a feel. Like, yeah, because we can't have all the answers to everything, you know? And then when it actually comes to fruition for what it really is meant to be, that's when it becomes a, holy shit, I get it now. You know?
Well, I can't wait for that day because, you know, I've been racking my brain around it forever.
Yeah.
Man, Popz, Pedro, Jesus Christ, how many different ways can we say your name? Popz, brother, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It's greatly appreciated. What Makes Us Fire Family, please go follow Popz on TikTok. Not Popz. Jesus fucking Christ, I just did it again. Oh my God. Please go follow Pop. It's Popz and then a number 80. Popz.
Popz with a Z, Popz_951.
Popz_951. POPZ_951. Not PO. It is still POPZ, but it's not Popz. It's Popz. Fuck, Jesus Christ.
The way I say, the reason why I say it like that, it's like I say Popz with the Z because I'm no one's daddy yet. So.
You realize what you just said there, right?
I do realize what I just said there.
You know how many freaking emails are going to be coming? I want you to be my daddy. You know what's going to happen now, right? You just realize what you opened yourself up to. Because I'm not taking it out. I'm not editing that part. That's anybody that needs a daddy. Popz is not a daddy yet, so you know, get him to get rid of that Z.
Oh shit!
POPZ_951 on TikTok. Message him. He's nobody's daddy yet.
Oh damn! They're gonna have a hard time because they got a tough one right here and everything. So she's small but mighty.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show again, man. Thank you so much. Holy literally, you have been the longest I've had, but you know what? Everything's been good, man. What we shared, what we talked about, it's been amazing. I'm gonna have you back on the show because I just have a feeling we could have dived into a hell of a lot more. And
I'll be more than happy to, brother.
Yeah. Again, everybody look out with the What Makes Us Fire Foundation. Popz has actually considered and is going to be a part of something that we are creating, and him and I are working together and making that happen. Yep. So be on the lookout for that. Anything else, Popz, before we sign off?
So the biggest thing that I have to say is, again, thank you for having me on the show, man. I really do truly appreciate this. You know, what you do is amazing, and what the route that you're and the path you're taking for your foundation is truly going to help out a shit ton of people out there, bringing awareness and bringing support for people, and families, just all in the same. The only instance that I have is, yes, you can find me on TikTok at Popz_951. My Whiskey Wednesdays that I have every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. It's literally just like out at the bar, just have a drink, kind of chill. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be alcoholic beverage. It can be a non-alcoholic beverage. We just basically enjoying the evening. Every live session, we do donate to charity and everything. So any gifts that we receive there or take through PayPal and everything get donated at the end of the month for every single charity. So this month, we have 2 charities we're donating to, which is Mission 22 and Canines for Warriors. Next month, I'll have another 2 charities selected out, but it's every single month that we're donating to charity. And all those funds collected at the end of the month will be consolidated and pushed over to those organizations.
That's awesome.
Also being on the lookout for merch that I'm coming up with as well. I'm working on getting the content made, and I have some sample items that I've already put in orders for, and we'll be putting an announcement for merchandise and things like that. There will be a first responder military line specific. So any and all proceeds that are that are made for those purchases will go directly to a service that provides support for veteran services or first responder services.
Man, that's awesome, bro. You're turning your influence into something more than you, man. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Appreciate it, man. And then definitely, as always, always hunt the good stuff. Be the light that shines in someone else's tunnel, because regardless of where you might be, whether you feel like you're down and out and you feel like you're at the end of your rope and your spark is completely going out, don't let it go, because someone somewhere that you're going to interact with or you haven't interacted with is going to see that spark, and you are that light at the end of someone else's tunnel. So keep that spark going, or keep that fire blazing, so that way you can help whoever you need to help, whether it be today, tomorrow, months from now, or years from now. Someone somewhere is going to need you, whether you like it or not, or whether you know it or not. And I guarantee you're going to change their life.
And being the difference in somebody else's life and making that change feels really fucking amazing. It feels good. It does.
It definitely does.
Thank you again, brother.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
What Makes Us Fire Family. Again, this is Popz_951. Pedro, whatever, the good-looking guy on TikTok. You guys get out there, have fun, stay safe, show some love and peace out in the world. You never know who's going to need it. You never know if you're going to be the one to make the difference. And just like Popz finished saying, whether you know it or not, you're going to, being that person to make the change is awesome. You're going to be a change to somebody's life.
Definitely.
Let's be the change we want to see in the world.
Always, brother.
Peace.
All right.
You can say bye if you want. You don't have to sign off. Just say bye.
Okay. All right, guys. Bye. You have a good one, all right?
Talk about having a story to share. Yeah. Longest episode of the What Makes Us Fire podcast. But you know what? We had some amazing conversation. Him sharing his background, his outlook on life, what he does in the military, how he deals with depression and anxiety, what he had to deal with overseas. I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart for sharing his story and for being 100% honest with us and open. There's going to be a lot of people out there, especially in the veteran community and the military community, that might give him some shit for coming onto a podcast and sharing his feelings and what it was like for him. But you know what? I love you guys. I appreciate your service, but fuck them. You should be able to support your brothers and sisters in the service. And if this is a way to make sure they don't break, by sharing their story, by getting on social media, by sharing the fact that we are all different and yet we can fight for one cause, you should be able to support that. Popz, thank you, brother. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. What Makes Us Fire family, thank you for tuning in today and listening to the episode. I know it was a pretty long episode, but there was a lot of good stuff. You guys are amazing. Please continue to like, share, and follow What Makes Us Fire on all your social media platforms with the tag @WhatMakesUsFire on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, and go follow the What Makes Us Fire podcast on YouTube with What Makes Us Fire space podcast. Like, share, comment, subscribe. All those things help the What Makes Us Fire podcast and the What Makes Us Fire Foundation grow. Speaking of which, there is now a website for the What Makes Us Fire Foundation where you will be able to find everything you need to know about the What Makes Us Fire Foundation. It is a bit of a website in progress. However, we have tabs for the podcast. We have tabs to donate. We have an events page tab. We have quite a few things. Contact us where you can email any of your questions. We're going to have a volunteer page where you can sign up to be a volunteer. We're going to have the peer support page up and running here pretty shortly. We're going to have the grant application. If you are somebody looking for the help from the What Makes Us Fire Foundation, that will be up here shortly. We are trying to build our capital, y'all. Not going to lie to you. We are trying to build our capital to make sure that when we start giving the grants, we're not going to fail. And that's as simple as that. So we're all about fundraising. And saying that, if you go to whatmakesusfire.com, very simple, and hit that donate button, any little contribution is helpful. It is extremely helpful. Every penny counts. Every penny is a step forward. Every penny goes to help a civil service member get that help they need. Please, again, go to whatmakesusfire.com, hit that donate button, and make a contribution. It would be greatly appreciated. If you can't, just share the What Makes Us Fire family. Tell people what we're about. Bring them to the website. Bring them to the social media pages. Have them check out the podcast. You spreading the word makes a huge difference. Because if you spread the word to just one right person, you might be able to contribute more than you ever thought. If you find yourself in crisis right now and you need help, the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is available 24/7, 365 days a week. It is completely confidential, completely anonymous if you choose it to be. Make the call. Start the conversation. The number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-8255. Again, the number is 1-800-273-8255. There is no shame in starting the conversation for yourself and for yourself first. If making that call is just not on your radar right now, check out suicidepreventionlifeline.org, where you will find a multitude of resources to help you start the conversation and get you on that right path to feeling at least level again. I want to say thank you to all of you, from myself and from the What Makes Us Fire family. You all are making this happen. It's growing, and I cannot thank you enough. Get out there, have fun, stay safe, show some love and peace out in this world. You never know who's going to need it. You never know if you are going to be the one to make the difference. And being that difference feels pretty damn good. Let's be the change we want to see in the world. Peace.